am. All right.
All right. We'll call this to order, and we'll start with our pledges to the flags.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. We'll have a roll call.
Commissioner Heinemeier.
Here.
Commissioner Ignatiuk.
Here.
Commissioner Nolan.
Mayor
Well,
Nolan.
Mayor
All
Nolan.
right. So, yes, we have a quorum. So we'll call this meeting to order. Under announcements, as we've been talking about landfill, I don't have really much to announce, but Udo has gotten a pricing for the Post Oak landfill. And this is where you have to have a hard hat and a vest to even
If you
dump your
drive
trash.
on there, they ask you to have a hard hat and a yellow vest.
And they will supply you with one for $12.81 for a vest and $12.81 for a hard hat. So yeah.
Yeah. They are talking about making a better deal for civilians or citizens to deliver their trash and make it easier for them, but there is so far just talk.
I have kind of a about going over there in the first place. So this is just check report for anybody who would like it. Nothing too terribly interesting. We did get our franchise fees from Blue Bonnet and GVC. Blue Bonnet $14.91.27 and GVC was $525.83. We did get our sales and use tax for September, which was $35.49.04. We had payout to the festival. And then we have that additional Wix.com, and I need to go ahead and put that back to a free account, and we will up it again when the next festival comes around. Let's see, and then includes compensation for the city clerk. What was I thinking? There was something, oh yeah. So, I've looked at the scheduling for mixed beverage tax receipts, which is what we got at one point when they had liquor, alcohol down at the casino. But then with beer and wine, you do not get that. But they have renewed or gotten a new liquor license, so at some point we should be getting those receipts, but it's kind of like our sales tax. Someone wanted wood to sell me one. Sales tax, where it's like for September you have to report it in October and then we receive it in November. So I don't know when they started doing that, but it should be either this month or next month, and it's on a different date than this other. So, and then I continue to move $2,000 a month over into Texas Class, our liquid asset investment account there, and which our interest income on that continues to go up again. So that has been a really good opportunity for us. Again, $583 last month, at the end of last month, for just holding our money over there, so. Any other announcements? We have a fall festival recap, I think,
Yes.
on the agenda,
Yeah.
so. I don't believe I have anything else there. Oh, I did get contacted by, another city wanting more information on TGAA, the Texas Governmental Accountability Association that we joined. And I was going to send them, but that's why I was asking, the one that we signed, maybe that went, the interlocal that we signed with TGAA, I guess that went with,
Yeah, I think,
yeah, I can send them what we have. They're interested in the TGAA.
okay.
I wasn't sure if it was something that you had a copy of that, of the interlocal,
I don't
or,
remember getting a copy
Okay.
of that.
then we probably,
I guess, could you send me a copy of what you have when you send
Yeah.
it to them?
yeah.
What was their interest in it? I'm sorry.
I believe they were, wanting to know, what we kind of thought about the interlocal and kind of these people trying to get
Get it started.
cities signed up. And I said, yeah, they really worked with us on this. I said, we're a very transparent city anyway. But there were a couple of things that we had concerns or questions about, and they worked with us on those. And I was gonna get them the interlocal, but I don't have like the signed
Yeah.
version of it.
Okay. But yet the contact information for Art and whoever.
Yeah, yeah, well, I'm sure they've
Yeah.
already been contacted.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
why
I
they
guess so.
contacted me.
Duh, yeah, okay. All right, they just wanted an honest Google review.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Item number 2, public comments or discussion. Udo has already brought us landfill discussion.
Are we on item 2?
Yes.
Oh. I had a question, because I heard through the grapevine that it was the City of Seguin commissioners that disconnected the landfill contract. Is that correct?
Oh, interesting.
It is a company called Republic that wanted to raise prices, like, what was it, 3 years ago? And the county said that's too much, and so they kind of went back and forth, and they finally agreed on a contract for, and this is with the county commissioners, the county commissioners
So
court.
Guadalupe County Commissioners.
Guadalupe
Okay,
County
not the
Commissioners.
City of Seguin Commissioners.
Correct,
Okay, thank you.
correct.
That's what I wanted
Okay,
clarification on.
all right, yeah, it's the Guadalupe County Commissioners Court and Republic. And so when that contract ended, the Guadalupe County did another RFP,
Request for
that,
bid.
right, but that closed October 31st, I
And they only
believe.
got one bid.
I don't know how many they did get. I don't,
Interesting.
yeah.
Is it possible to do an open records request? I'm just curious.
Probably so. I looked to see on the RFP if you could see if there were any that submitted a packet for that.
I think that's
And-
what you need, an OR, an open
Yeah,
records
probably
request.
so, because I couldn't see if there was any response to that RFP
So
on their
interesting.
website.
And that would make sense because state accounting and bidding as well as, and that governs county, it requires a minimum of 3 to 5 depending on the dollar amount. And so there's brackets, and so that's what I was curious about. So it was the.
I don't know.
Commissioner,
how
it
many
was
they
the
got before. I don't
Guadalupe
think they
County
got 3
Commissioners,
before.
okay, that court that then did not renew the contract with the existing entity or for the RFP. Right, but it's not an automatic renewal. They have to.
Apparently not.
It's not.
Apparently not.
It's not. It's never been. And so the entity has to resubmit for the bid. And they probably did, but it may have been too high that the county wanted to pay. So I'm curious because I'm wondering if there's any type of recourse that can be communicated to the Guadalupe County Commissioners Court about the impact whether it was intentional or unintentional, direct or indirect consequences of their actions that impacted the city of Kingsbury. So that's the question that I raised to the commission and the board.
Yeah, I don't know, I heard
I know this-
concerns, yeah, I heard concerns about people about trash getting dumped, and it does seem like there has been more trash, at least on Prairie Road. There has definitely been more trash out on the road, the bags of it. I don't know if it has anything to do with that or not.
Well, they know.
Is there any way we as a city can send them an official letter saying, hey, please consider?
Or to inquire without doing a formal open record for.
I
think,
press
yeah,
to-
just-
to do-
Yeah, we
Don't
can
call and
certainly,
ask.
we can certainly inquire, yeah. Yeah, I would set up,
I think the city, the citizens that relied on that within the, both in the city of Kingsbury
And those that are outside
Yeah.
the city of Kingsbury that relied on that.
Yeah.
I think that was a huge shock, and I would dare say it would be good governance and leadership for the city of Kingsbury to at least inquire and find out the information and the facts.
yeah, we can certainly see what we can find out. There was a Guadalupe County Mayor's meeting a couple of weeks ago, but that was not a topic, and it was pretty filled, and so I wanted to bring that topic up, but I didn't get to bring that topic up. But yeah, we can certainly reach out, at least to our county commissioner for
Right,
this
point of
area, which
contact.
is, yeah,
If
sign
if nothing else, it's just a point of contact.
Yeah.
I think that would be worthy of the citizens, because everyone's being
Impacted by that decision. And I think that would show good leadership and good governance from the city of Kingsbury Commission.
Since it's your field of knowledge, 3 to 5 bids,
Again, it depends.
Depends on the dollar amount bracket.
is there a contingency if there are no bids or one bid only?
Yes, there is. Now, the state has, at the state level, it's administrative rule, and then it's up to the county of whether or not they want to make it restrictive. And so there is county leeway or governance. So it would behoove us to know what the expectation that the state has, and then to find out how the commission interprets and enforces that Texas Administrative Code, that TAC.
Okay, 'cause I have no idea what the county was, what the contract was with the prior vendor for hauling the stuff away. But I know it cost me money to just dump stuff there, but not like this. But not
well, even if you,
extremely, not extremely lower.
Yeah.
But lower, definitely.
even if you burn your trash, which I know more people have been doing because
Yeah.
I can smell it in the air, you've still got, cans, bottles,
Yeah, those don't burn.
no, that items that do
Well, I
not
mean-
burn that then you,
Have on your place.
Have-
Yes, I've-
yeah, that you
Well,
used to take to the
Well, a
dump.
commercial establishment, I know you have a lot. All right, but like I said, my personal residence, and it's just us, it's just two of you left, there's not much trash being generated.
Yeah,
But I said that 96-gallon drum or cart goes out every week at my wife's insistence, and most of the time it's never full. And it's everything, and it goes in.
Who do you have?
Superior.
Superior. You can, Heather is her name, I guess.
Yes.
Call her up, and you tell her that they only pick up twice a month. That halves your price, and they come only every other week.
I know. Yes, thank you. Yes, no,
That's what I did
guess-
at the beginning. Now I.
We have to
don't know.
negotiate that contract
Yeah.
at our place, and a lot lost. So, yeah. It's okay. Some weeks we will have a full can,
yeah.
but
I'll contact
But
Commissioner
anyways,
Seidenberger
like I
and
said,
see if I can get
I mean,
that.
all of our trash goes, and the dump is like for the bulky item, a mattress, an occasional mattress,
I just took recycling there.
well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the other
toilet
thing, they don't collect
stuff.
recycling,
But
so.
like, most of the wood products, we burn,
Yeah,
it's.
yeah. I would have a bonfire every week of all the
Cardboard.
cardboard.
You gotta
if
start
I
making
was-
art out of it.
Donate the cardboard to the gardening club.
Oh, yeah.
Community garden.
Because when making raised bed garden, cardboard is a good biodegradable to establish your raised garden beds.
Right.
The schools, public schools, and particularly the Guadalupe County Master Gardeners has a program with Seguin Independent School District and a couple of the daycare and charter schools that are around the area that do gardening of some type. And they may be willing to take those from you.
I would overwhelm them with the amount of hard work they're doing.
Yeah, no, as a nonprofit who gets a lot of donations, please, yeah, they probably have more than their share of cardboard.
Option, as far
But,
as
yeah.
trying to get something recycled, instead of just going in the landfill, is San Marcos. And that's a difficult, cycling area
I
to get
did
to.
recently learn that the
Superior Disposable from San Marcos has a recycling bucket. And that you can separate, but it's separate from, right, you have to pay for that extra can, in essence, yeah. But it is an
Pay
option.
on the pickup, and I think it's like $7 or,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
So are you saying that a difficult recycling process in San Marcos?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Okay.
It's not like here where you just drive up,
Right.
throw it out.
drive up and throw it out. You know where it is?
I don't.
It's over there by Hobby
Now.
Lobby, behind Goodwill.
Yeah. I'm actually considering buying a trailer to offer to pick up recycling, at least from some of my neighbors
Yeah.
and friends, to take out their.
Yeah, you need to go through it. And I haven't been through it in years,
Okay.
but I know it, when I've been through it before, it was not an easy process.
Okay.
Not that it was all that hard, but it was not as easy. It was go out here, pull up, throw your stuff in the dumpster.
Okay.
All right. So I will report back on what I find on this collection station. Under old business, consent agenda items, approval of October 16th, 2023, regular commission meeting minutes. Any additions or corrections? Anything that needs to be moved to regular agenda on that? All right, then those will stand as submitted. Item number 4, discuss and consider Kingsbury Fall Festival recap.
Yeah,
Item
so
there.
just wanted to talk about the fall harvest a little bit, maybe places where things fell through the, cracks and successes. I don't know. Well, some of us were there. One thing that I saw was publicity and the socials. I mean, I asked Justin to be here, but he's not here, so I don't know. But I'm trying to rope him in for next year, or some younger person who likes doing all that stuff, because it's just getting the word out. It's so handy, and
Yeah.
you really need somebody who's good at it, because they've made it trickier.
I put it on, of course, and then as the event was, I was posting. I'm not very good at that, but yeah, that is one of the most important things, is to get out there, on Instagram and whatever. One thing that I did not, Will Hemmick had called me, and I didn't get his message until late in the game, is that, have that rollaway light up
Oh,
sign.
yeah, they were thinking.
And that's a very good, notification that it is coming. And I did not, I completely, it just didn't even occur to me
Yeah,
until it was too late
yeah.
on that.
We
So,
should definitely put that in for
yeah,
next
I
year.
think that is a benefit. And I think that is very helpful to getting interest. I think the weather, even though the weather
Yeah.
was great, I think the weather was a little,
Everybody was kind of freaked
Scared
out.
some people.
yeah, it scared some people away. But the weather turned out really nice. It was a little windy depending on where you were, but it wasn't.
Well, what'd you guys think? Did you have fun?
I hope that we don't often have the festival and Veterans Day at the
Yeah.
same time again.
Yeah.
We got through it, but yeah, it, that definitely, added some excitement to the proceedings.
Yes.
But, I thought that was, besides the excitement, I think the Veterans Day thing turned out really nice with the wagons. They were very excited about it and,
Yeah, it
took
was
the time
great.
to, create several plaques for,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
us.
that's
and
very cool.
And I think that it was nice to do that commemoration for our veterans. And boy, it was a built-in audience because there was a lot of vendors there for it. So that worked out. Yeah, sign. I think we had a little confusion, just like where, hay dive and archery,
Yeah.
kind of,
Last minute.
yeah, last minute.
Stuff.
But you know what? It worked out, I think, for the better. I think having the speakeasy right there.
Speakeasy loved being in the field.
Yeah, I
was
think
awesome.
it was really nice. I think that
Yeah.
really worked out.
Yeah.
And the little bar.
Yeah, we did have to cancel a band and the sound guy because we didn't make enough money with the vendors to really support all of the music. So maybe that's a consideration for next year if it's a priority for the city, or, if we wanted to get better music, we probably need more money that's not just from vendors. But that's another topic, I suppose, but it might be something we could discuss over a budget if we want to. I mean, we made it work, but, so it's kind of hard to get people to play for free
Yeah.
these days.
Some of it was like coming in last minute too. We could have actually probably had one more band, not realizing the vendors kind of signing in the last minute is kind of what's hard to
Yep.
book stuff. That's what makes it hard to like schedule it all,
Well, they wanted more money than we could afford to. I mean,
we probably could have had one more band just at the end when we realized how many vendors came through. It was like, oh man.
Maybe it might be worth start planning now for next year and actually have a cutoff time for vendors. Then you have a set budget for 4 to 6 weeks before the actual event. And then you can figure out how you want to make up the difference or cut things from your,
Sure. I mean, the other thing is we always like to offer it to people. Some people can't afford that until maybe even the day of, until they make that money. And so we used to kind of be a little more forgiving on that because we didn't want people to be,
I think you could still have that.
but yeah.
Just a concept.
But
Anyway.
maybe you could have,
I think the other thing
Yeah.
that's hand in hand with that is having somebody to do the social media, because that's always it's like getting vendors aware. It's, it takes like a
Publicity.
months-long project, and it's more patience than I have to be on a phone.
So what are you trying to attract? Who are you trying to attract with social media? Vendors?
Vendors
or-
or people to come, just let people know about it. I think, a lot of people, it's the way of getting the word out. That's kind of how people get the word these days, through social media. And
And you can still push through print, like,
The games at the Luling papers. I mean, not that it just broadens your scope of age demographics.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So we definitely need some volunteer. We're gonna have to all set our eyes on the people on their phones, the young ones. That's our PR person for next year.
Yeah.
I'm setting my sights on Justin McNulty. I've said it to the interwebs, and I mean it. He does a great job with the volunteer fire department. Okay, I just kind of wanted to, have a little, because we do it in the announcements normally, but since it's
No,
kind of a
that's good.
Kingsbury festival, thought I'd
Let's see. Anything else on that?
No, I'm good. Anybody?
From my point as a volunteer, I helped out. I really enjoyed. I did do one walkthrough of the whole event. We had lots of business coming through the speakeasy and lots of laughs, lots of good times. From my little narrow scope of the event, it looked like it went. Most folks were having a really good time. So
Yeah.
Good job, y'all.
It was packed the whole time.
yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I got a question for the people that were there. How long did you stay? From the time you got there to the time you said, okay, I'm done, I'm going home?
90 minutes, maybe 2 hours.
2 hours?
Me, I got there like at 10,
She was
and
volunteering.
there until
Yeah.
closed. So
Okay.
10 to 6.
All right, did y'all go?
Yeah, we were there there at 8:30 to set up the hay dive, and then we stayed and then went home, picked up Joan about 10:30, and we came back and saw the trail drive. A little late for that, but we stayed, and then we stayed till 12:30 or 1, and then we went over to the aerodrome, and we were over there for a couple of hours, and that was a lot of fun. And we meant to come back, but I was just pooped by 4 o'clock.
Is there any reason that the fly-in and the Fall Harvest Festival are on the same day every year? Does that have to be that?
And then we've had them on the same day, and,
When it first occurred, there was a little tension there, wasn't there?
well, I don't
It
know.
used to
And
be
then
on,
the second time, it was pretty,
It kind of,
Yeah.
we kind
coexist
of,
pretty good.
by having them on the same day, there is a little bit of feeding off each other. It,
Unless you're volunteering at one or the other.
right, then you
go to the
don't
other,
get-
yes,
which
that's
is
that's the dilemma. If you're
Yeah.
hosting one of them, then you can't go to the other.
right.
But each thing is like a 2-hour, you can kind of do it all in 2 hours. So it's a full day in Kingsbury if you do both. But
So you think it's
Unless
still
you're volunteering
okay?
one or the other.
You don't think it'd be better to have it on
I don't know.
its own day?
Broken for it.
We've done both.
It can go in both directions now, you know. Some people might say it is good to have more festivals in a year, and others will say, hey, you know, I pack that in one day because it is a very small festival.
Yeah.
So I spend a whole day and go 4 hours to the airport and 3 hours and get drunk at the festival. Yeah.
You're right.
So
I
I think
you're right.
both on one. This is my personal opinion now. Others might think different. Is it? I think on one day is fine because we have in June we have here the fire department. For a little village like Kingsbury, we have already some stuff going on.
It would be nice if it went a little later and had actually like a street dance kind of,
yeah, that'd be fun. Well, maybe when next
More
year when
activities
when
for the
dance
adults.
hall's going,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
could open that up and just open the doors up to the. I mean,
Yeah.
all right, the plan begins
It
next
seems to me
year.
that in answer to, I guess you raised a question, Frank, that it seems to me, and I may not recall exactly, but until 3 years ago, they were always on different days, the fly-in. And then I thought about 3 years ago, I thought it was Charlotte's idea to, and she said, well, if we did it all at the same time, we'll each draw from the other crowd. And I thought that's how we got the momentum and started this, and it could be undone, but I found out that I can't do both on the same day.
We were doing the animal, the petting zoo and everything, we couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did start with Charlotte, and then I think the following year she was like, "Should we separate them?" And it's like, I kind of liked it because then the planes are flying overhead, and the
We did get a lot of folks from, at the speakeasy,
Saying that they were at the Aerodome and then they came over here and then vice versa, you know,
Yeah.
that they were, oh yeah, we're gonna hang out here and do these, and then we're gonna go to the Aerodome. And so I mean, they're the people that were purchasing from us, so.
You know, I think, you know, it's not an all-day event, either one.
Right.
And if you're up to it, it's a couple hours here, a couple hours there, yeah, I can see that. Real easy, real easy.
Unless you're working it.
Well, you know,
so next,
you,
So next year you volunteer at the Aerodome and then.
But they do have it twice a year, you know.
But there's something else that falls on the spring as well, right?
They have a spring fly-in too.
Pancake breakfast.
The pancake.
Yeah.
But
That's
that
what it
really
is.
works
yeah,
in conjunction
come get your
together.
breakfast and go over there.
That works out really nicely.
That
Come
was
get
nice.
get a
That is
breakfast
nice.
and then go down and do that, so. All right, any else on the fall harvest? I think, yeah, just keep a list of topics.
Yeah.
And so that, like the sign, so
Yeah.
that that doesn't get lost, you know.
during
If
the
I
year.
remember something now, I have to forget something, and that's kind
Yeah.
of where that happens.
I'll get something
One thing,
started.
now, we don't need to table that for any more discussion in
No,
the future.
so-
No.
Okay.
I think all in all, it was a good turnout.
I think so too.
I think it was pretty well done. When it's too much bigger, it's sometimes too hard to manage, but I think it was perfect.
Yeah. Right, item number 5, discuss and consider planning zoning committee report and discussion. So I laid on, the P and Z committee, I laid on some guests on them last minute. they were recovered very nicely from that, and fun was had by all.
So it was,
Elena Rodriguez here from the KP&Z committee, one of the 3 members of the committee. Unfortunately, we did not get our meeting minutes together, and we don't have an official report to submit other than what we're going to provide verbally here today. Learned a lot from, there are interesting things from the last meeting held on November 14th in the city of Staples. Interesting comments from the public and so forth. I may speak a little differently than Udo, and maybe even Tyler, and I'll allow them to have the floor as well. My biggest concern has to do with the city of Staples saying, well, just do it, regardless of citizen input. As someone who has nearly 30 years state governance, leadership, strategic planning experience, that doesn't fly in my book. It goes against my ethics and morals. I heard concerns and complaints about the lack of citizen participation, even with the formation of the city of Kingsbury, and the unwillingness to pursue that again. I think that needs to be relooked at. It will do the committee and the commission definitely show good faith versus shows a collaboration in the community versus an authoritarian or dictatorship. I also have a bit of an issue with the fact that I honestly, after spending the last 6, almost 7 months going through policy procedures, doing enormous amount of research, again, I may be speaking differently than my other members, and they will have the floor after I don't think the city of Kingsbury is ready for planning and zoning. I think after looking at the mission and how the city of Kingsbury was incorporated as a libertarian city, then that needs to be in consideration. I also think that there's a lack of planning, governance, and leadership of the city of Kingsbury Commission. There is no strategic plan in how development is going to occur, or what is the incentive for a citizen to want to be part of the city of Kingsbury when there are no services such as waste management. As an example, that recently it seems to be very reactive versus proactive initiative and forward thinking. I also think that with the new legislative session ending of the regular session in Senate Bill 2038, that needs to be re-put out to the citizens. A, for educational purposes, and B, to allow those individuals to have the good faith and the say whether or not they wish to continue being part of the city of Seguin, ETJ, or not, or participate and actually become the city of Kingsbury.
And we do have an item on the agenda.
I just, I do not see whether vision, mission, or strategically or objectively how a 3-person committee can then say we represent the city of Kingsbury. Every judge that I know, that's not going to fly. It's just not. That's right now you've got one leg of a stool and you don't have the other 2. And and furthermore, I am not even a citizen of or resident of Kingsbury, nor am I in the ETJ. I am in an unincorporated part of the county, and I'm not even in Seguin's ETJ. Now, that's not to say that things won't change over time, but that's my job to make sure I handle those things. It would just seem a little odd for someone like myself in the position and residency that I hold to be making suggestions for those that would, or regulation that would impact their day-to-day, both directly and indirect lives. Tyler?
I guess I feel like maybe the city of Houston has no zoning, and they're doing fine.
I think they do now, last just
No,
handful
there is
of
no
years.
there's no zoning
No
in the
planning
city
and
of
zoning
Houston.
in the city of Houston.
You can have commercial right across the street, right
I've
next
always
door
said
from
that,
a
and
residential.
Someone corrected me recently.
Either way.
Either way,
Yeah.
It's been a
yeah,
long time.
Yeah.
They added it just recently.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe a lot of people have been grandfathered in then, so that doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm not in Kingsbury either, and I question why would I want to, if I can be released from the Seguin ETJ without incorporating into the city. I certainly don't want to give up my liberty. If I would like to put in a coffee shop on my property, I can do that right now. I don't want to give up the ability to have commercial or ag or residential on my property. And if there was an incentive, then why am I going to give up my liberties? Why am I giving up my liberties? But also I think that maybe instead of planning and zoning, maybe it needs to be more of a development board. Like, how are we going to develop Kingsbury?
The economy,
It's
the
not-
industry,
It's not so much about planning and zoning and regulations, but what does this development look like? How can we become a city that people want to be a part of? As opposed to, here's what you can and can't do from now on, because we said so. So that's kind of where I am right now.
Maybe it's kind of what we're going through is an evolution, because we're just starting all this. We're trying to, figure this out and how
Absolutely.
that works for a small city. And so, maybe it's an evolution of how we deal with some sort of a forethought on how we're going to go forward with some of this.
Right.
Now, I still have the thing where I don't think planning and zoning is telling you that you can't do that on your property. That's what
Zoning
variances are
absolutely
for.
is.
Zoning
Zoning
is.
Okay.
absolutely is.
Zoning
All right.
is, but you can't zone unless you have a solid strategic plan.
and I thank you for that, Tyler. Udo, what
Yeah.
about you?
When we started that in May, I learned very fast, Elena, that you are somewhere there. You are the Eagle Scout with your knowledge, and you just mentioned yourself, you are 30 years in the field. We are here just farmers, when you see it like that. We are the pathfinders versus the Eagle Scout there. There is a lot of things I still do not understand what you were talking about over the last 6 months. And this is where I step in and say, evolution is one word. What was this gentleman's name? Miles from the city of Staples?
Miles.
Yeah. Miles said you got to start somewhere and then learning by doing. I am still in what he said, or evolution. I do not care how that child is called. If it is called planning and zoning or developing book, I'm in. I'm still in. I think we should do something, and not for you or for me. We should do it for the future.
And that's,
Yeah.
and that's true leadership and governance.
Yes, however we do that, I am in. There is a lot of things I will still not understand. When you speak about House Bill 2438, I'm lost. I have no idea what it seriously. And I don't even want to try learning about it. We learn by doing, by finding whatever comes at us, what Miles said. It took them a year, and even Still, I would, yeah, yeah, before they even came up with a plan, it took them a year. And Elena is saying that from the get-go, she says, it will take us some time, and we would watch that video on YouTube. It will take time, but yet I will fight for, just make a copy of that book, what Miles had here last Tuesday, copy that thing, and call it our development plan. All right, whatever. I'm still in.
Well, okay, so this thing has been plaguing me since we, had that meeting, and I've been thinking about it a lot. You guys probably already know my opinion that we are a Liberty City, and so it's kind of anti what we do to create rules. But, the future is coming, and it's coming quickly, and in terms of the environment, getting not enough water, because it's all getting taken out, who knows, there's lots of things. But I think right now, so we incorporated the city to not be a part of Seguin. Now we have an existential crisis on our hands because everybody who got together to incorporate to not be part of something, now they don't have to be a part of it anymore because of SB 2038. So the reason for our very being, the reason we incorporated, is now no longer. That doesn't mean we should dissolve. I think Kingsbury is a wonderful place, and I think that we can celebrate it by creating a future, but what does that future look like? And, I think it does, there's a difference between development and zoning, and that is zoning is a bunch of rules saying you can't do this or you can do this here. Development is a city working with its citizens to try to create situations like how can we create a recycling center together in downtown. I'm sure there's grant money for it. I'm an artist. I know all about grant money. There's grant money for everything. In fact, I do know some people who work in Austin who turned a Superfund site into a recycling center. So maybe I can talk to them about it.
Ecology Action.
Yeah. So, there's things we can do as a community. So, maybe that's what brings the community together. How can we support each other? How can the city support people who want to do these kinds of things? So that we can all not have to go pay Joe Schmo at the Post Oak dump, to dump our garbage on top of the aquifer. I mean, what if we all got together and worked together so yes, some kind of development board. I don't know what that looks like, but maybe it looks like a grant writer and researcher first.
I would even go even further to your foundation.
And let's look at what is the priority of the City of Kingsbury commissioners for this year and the next 5 years. And that's called planning, governance, and leadership, and strategic planning. And there's no such thing, or I have not seen it, although I have asked for it. No such thing seems to exist.
What, with us? No, because like I said, the point of Kingsbury was to not be Seguin.
The reason we have a mayor and two commissioners, because that's what's required for our.
We are a Liberty City. We're not supposed to do anything.
It's required by the state. We have these meetings because it's required for us to maintain our municipality incorporation. If we don't do that, then it disappears. So here we sit. Do we have something that we want to accomplish here?
It's up to you guys. Well, I mean, the people who are in the city.
My goal is to maintain our municipality, our incorporation, so that, well, now that the threat is gone, when that was it, 2038, a few years ago, a home rule city like Seguin, you would be in their ETJ, their city limits ends, and they have so many miles that surrounding them that is their extraterritorial jurisdiction. They can annex you into their city. They didn't ask you if you want to be part of their city. They would just tell you you are now part of Seguin or now part of San Antonio. And that's what happened here. They annexed out. This became Seguin's ETJ. We said, we don't want to be in Seguin, but that's what the state law said. Our only recourse was to draw the line and say, we incorporate, this is now a city. You cannot annex another city. State law. So we were good. We saved what we had left. Now this 2038 came a few years later after. It's been coming for a long time. But it finally happened where now the ETJ, I don't know why they even maintain an ETJ on the books for state. But it's, who's,
But I don't know.
there's no reason. I mean, to me, whatever. There's a reason, but it doesn't make any sense probably. But now you're in the ETJ of a city, but they can't come forcibly annex you. Now they get a group together and say, okay, this area right here wants to be in our city, they can petition the city to, and they'll have an election. If 50% of the people in that group say, well, yeah, we want to be in your city, then they'll annex you. If the 50%, if 49% say that no, if 51% say we don't want in, then they don't annex you. So the reason we incorporated and became a city to stop from being annexed by a city is gone, because they can't forcibly annex us.
So what's your new mission?
Yes.
Landfill?
We don't, why do I, well,
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
I'm saying instead of being reactionary, and.
Well, now it's time. Well, this just happened.
To
This-
begin this conversation.
I wanna- yes.
So now we are beginning this conversation.
yeah, speaking of things like that, it's like, you don't live in the city, you don't live in Kingsbury, you're in Guadalupe County, you're unincorporated. You know, no one's ETJ. Why are you here, Elena? Why
Because
are-
you asked me to be here, and this was before Senate Bill 2038.
Yeah,
And because I care, and because I care.
yeah.
Okay,
And why are
and-
you here, Tyler?
So,
Because I care.
And why are you here?
No, you know that.
I know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the three most influential people in this, you're not in, you don't live, but you're Kingsbury, are you not?
No, my mailing address
That's-
is Kingsbury.
yes.
I didn't say that I wasn't.
But I mean, do you feel like you're Kingsbury?
I feel,
Feels like, he feels
I feel like it, of course.
Yeah, I do too.
That's why I'm here.
But like I said, the three most influential people for the city of Kingsbury, besides the three of us sitting here, and fourth and fifth, are y'all three. Out of this whole area, y'all are the three most influential people.
And this is where
We need to go back to outreach and education. And I think the mission needs to go back to outreach and education, go back to the foundation of why Commission of Kingsbury was even incorporated before you even start planning and zoning.
Well,
Can I
Please.
make a comment,
Yes.
Madam Chair? You know, I've sat here, obviously, we were here with the founders of the city of Kingsbury, and that includes the city commission that's right here. And I know what they intended from the very beginning, and now listening to your three comments today is very interesting. But I would distill it down to, I think the city of, not to argue with you, E, but I think the city of Kingsbury has a very clear, and the commission has a very clear vision of the future and planning and zoning. I think this commission and the people that started this city, they don't want to be autocratic. That's the furthest thing from us as Liberty City. But when we say planning and zoning, and I think when we delegated this or and outlined it, what these people intended was that we're going to have a planning and zoning committee that is not going to be dictatorial and autocratic. It's just going to define every property in the city and that ever comes into the city is just going to be generally zoned commercial, industrial, residential, or agricultural as it wants to, all of them. Everybody is the same, and they get to choose, and nobody else tells them whether they can be commercial or residential only. But then what they want is, as you said, or Udo said, a development board. They want everything to be zoned neutral. But then we want a development scheme that says, as part of those planning and zoning ordinances, that nobody can subdivide their property. I mean, you can build a garage, or you can build a school, or you can a flower shop, but you cannot subdivide your property into less than an acre, or maybe 5 acres. And we ought to, so that we stop. That way, I cannot go sell my property to a developer who subdivides it into 0.23 acre sections and builds 30 houses on 15 acres, or 200 houses on 25 acres. It would be, you would just, don't worry about planning and zoning. Everything is going to be zoned anything you want to, but you cannot subdivide your property, and if you sell it to somebody, they cannot subdivide it into less than an acre
And that-
or 5 acres. or
That
something.
that works as long as you are in Kingsbury. If your property is Kingsbury, then yes, we can put those rules in place. However, we are surrounded by not Kingsbury. Even downtown is not Kingsbury.
But we can't do anything about that.
Right,
Tyler.
I know, that's what I'm, I guess, that's the,
At least we have half
in
covered.
order to get more people to incorporate into the city so that there are more protections for that very reason, which is one of the biggest reasons I wanted to be on the Planning and Zoning Committee in the first place. I don't want to see subdivisions everywhere out here. That's not why I moved out here. It's, if you can't come up with a reason for somebody to want to voluntarily annex into town, then unincorporated county is what you're gonna do. And, you know, if you do incorporate both sides of the road, now we're paying for the road. So if we're paying for the road, now by incorporating, you're setting forth a tax, a property tax, to pay for those roads, right? Am I on the right track here? And so in order to convince people, which is what we would like to do, to incorporate into town, there needs to be some sort of incentive
Yes.
to set yourself up for taxes and regulations of some sort.
Well, I see, I think that's a good point that you make. You know, we've all thought about this for the last, since 2015. Sure. When we wanted, and it was a big push to go try to get this property back on this side, going to 130, and make sure that it was Kingsbury and it didn't get into subdivisions. Well, if we can't, we tried, and I've wondered also for the last 8 years why more people are not signing petitions out there and doing this. But I've
They probably
sort of
don't
given up
know.
on the idea. They just don't. They don't care.
They don't care.
And so we're going to end up with subdivisions right there on this side. But right now, my focus has been from this station and whatever we annex over here in downtown that way. I don't want those
Stop 'em.
subdivisions there. But we may have lost the fight. We can't stop the subdivisions, even with the best P&Z committee. We can't stop it from happening over this way. So it's just going to happen, I think. But that's my thought.
I have a question. What was the logic behind no longer outreaching to those potential residents and/or educating, marketing that information?
Money.
8 years
How do you
ago,
do that?
but
You pay for mailings, we have, but like, I mean, what do you mean? First of
We
all.
did reach out.
Yeah, we have tons.
And we still quietly reach out on our website, on the newsletter.
So we've
but-
done mass mailings.
But we did mass mailings, we did it to everybody in this area.
We've sat on the
It's just-
road,
you should've
literally
been
on the
back.
corner.
That, you know, here's, you know, situation, this is our solution, you know, voluntary annexation, we can do that. You know, you can request it.
Was it just in 2015 or
has it continued, is that something that's a
2015,
that's a
2016,
continuous?
Maybe,
It's
It's-
and it's continuous, but it's not aggressive.
That Sunday, it was in the newsletter.
Yeah.
You want to be part of the Kingsbury City Limits?
I mean, that's just one.
It's always in the
one
newsletter.
strategy.
I don't know
Just-
how much
The
you
problem-
want, but yeah, we have done it continually.
But
And I have contacted people continuously, contacting them personally regarding it.
people
But there's-
to realize that we needed to incorporate in the first place. That
Right.
was
Right.
like,
There's not a big threat.
We are
Not a
gonna
big
be
threat.
tackling that when we come to,
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing.
So,
I have a
I mean,
question,
as-
I have a question for Sam real
Mailer,
quick,
yeah,
or
Sam.
maybe if you know. Planning, zoning, or picking your land type, residential, agricultural, you know, like you said.
Commercial.
Yeah. Can you do that in the ETJ? Can we do that in the ETJ of Kingsbury also, or just within the city limits?
Just within the city limits. Did Nothing you do can go outside the city.
No. There was some influence cities have on ETJs.
I hope not.
It's minimal. No, it's minimal, but there is.
I'm sorry, you're right. I mean, if we had
There's
a
some
half
plating.
mile-
I'm thinking
if we
the-
had a half-mile ETJ over here, which is a question right now before the courts,
Yeah.
but we claim it, and if it is, then you're right. We have a right to PMZ that ETJ out there.
But if we could take ETJ residents and allow them to pick their, what is it, agriculture, residential, business, their zone, whatever it is, and we could also regulate the subdivision at 2 acres or 5 acres, or, and can we do that for ETJ, you think, legally and permanently?
Yes.
But
Yeah,
they could
Okay.
leave-
Our
but they could
ETJ.
leave ETJ.
Huh?
They can leave the ETJ.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can, but
At least we
you
can
can,
do it.
they can request annexation into our ETJ just like they can request annexation into our city limits.
I don't think they can ask for annexation into an ETJ.
Yes.
If they haven't changed it,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't-
They
you
always
can
have.
voluntarily,
Voluntarily
be-
Oh, so you're
petition.
saying as far as offering an
So,
incentive
we
to
could-
people?
You don't have to be part of
Stay in the country.
Kingsbury.
yeah.
You'd be afraid of what we're gonna tax you with, but you can be protected from the development unless you're holding that property wanting to sell it for half-acre lots to some developer. You can petition to be in the ETJ, and we can connect ETJ just as well as we can connect city limits and take it all in, and we, all the way to 130, or to the Seguin's.
We can do that. We just haven't been able to sell it to those people.
So, and the only, I don't want to say fear, but the only disaster that's coming is not being annexed by Seguin. Now it's having a 300 unit subdivision right next door to you. You know, and if that's what you want, then let it go. But if you want to prevent that from happening in the future, for your future, your children's future, your grandchildren's future, your property, you know, petition in, get an ETJ, get regulated, pick your designated land usage, and we are going to ask you for a limit. We're going to limit your lot size, your subdivision plat. So we don't want half acre. If you do sell it to some builder, he's going to have to build 5-acre lots, you know. But then again, if they want to sell it to him, he could petition
To get out?
to be taken out of the ETJ too, or, yeah.
Yes.
They could, but if it's already, like I said, if it's already done, people are reluctant to change anything.
I
You know,
think our main recourse is to get a development board and try to figure out how to get good recycling, trash, water collection, things that people want out here, you know? Why will they join our city versus be in the county? Because we're better. We're a better place to live because we provide.
And that all goes back to
Here-
education
here-
and outreach.
Well, here's my issue with providing what people want.
And
If we provide them with protection from a developer, protection from
Yeah,
annexation
talking
by a
about
city,
education.
that costs us almost nothing. But if we're starting to provide trash service, recycling centers.
I'm not talking about it in that way. I'm talking
Yeah.
about it more in a way of what a community can do together through outreach and work with each other. So let's support maybe through, if we can get grants, grant programs, through volunteering, through organization,
Okay.
through, I mean, we all have the skills to be able to figure out things like this. Like I will call Joaquin from Circle Acres and see if maybe he can give us some advice. He's worked with Austin. It's got to be more of a pain in the butt than out here.
Okay.
Find resources. I'm just saying, if we're smart people, we can figure out some stuff and maybe work towards.
I also think you've got enough marketing material to work
With, particularly with Senate Bill 2038, provide us a very elementary education to your residents, and then also say
You know
what
we have a mailer on the agenda at that, specifically about that, right?
you need to do. One method, one strategy isn't always isn't efficient, and if you know your target population is slow to change, you got to be able to present it in a way, wrap it, and package it in a way that they're going to have an interest in what is it in it for them. You don't want to be part of Seguin, ETJ? Great, here's Senate Bill 2038. We can help you. Come be part of Kingsbury.
Yeah. mean, I feel
You
like
sell it.
as we set up this mailer
Yeah.
that is on the agenda for tonight, you know, that will give us language that we could send out in different ways to different people, you know? But we have to figure that out.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay.
But there are good marketing points that can be made, both Senate Bill
Oh, yeah.
23, both with the landfill crisis issue.
There's a lot that's happening here that can be very, your leverage to get the interest and the buy-in that you're looking for.
Yeah.
It just hasn't worked when, that, yeah, we should continue to work in it. I don't want to be too cynical, but that's what we tried. We didn't do it through marketing. We did it person to person. And now
Yeah, that too.
we've got this subdivision out there. Brad lives out there. And I may be wrong, Shirley, you correct me, but we've been working on that, trying to get those people to, and I think the only one out there that signed a petition that wants to be annexed when the time comes is Brad.
No, he's gotten his, well, no, I
Did he
won't
get
say
all
that.
of his people?
I know that he has gotten many of his neighbors.
Did they all get out of the
But then
ETJ yet,
The
or?
I
Seguin
was
Electric
gonna-
people, for instance, that have the 200 acres right over here next to them, or that were right off from the other side of, down Gravel Pit Road and over on the other side. We talked to him, Seguin Electric, years ago. He's the one that's got the deer ranch. And they were not interested in, and they've never signed a petition for their property. I think we've just run into a wall, but it may be that, and it may be that 2038 or whatever it is, the one where you can get released from the ETJ, that might make the difference if we go out and educate them. But thus far, we've not been able to because of all the reasons that we've mentioned here. They don't want to be taxed.
Agreed,
And I
and so,
understand
and that's something else that can be marketed,
Right.
pull out of Seguin, join Kingsbury, no tax,
Yeah.
or however that works out. I mean, finding the incentive and to get folks to get that buy-in, and now you've got more to do more with because you got more people participating. Potentially.
I think you got something to chew on there. And I think there is and I think that's the way to go forward and try to do this. And I think that and we don't want to get paralyzed through over-analysis, paralysis through over-analysis, but it does get complicated as to what happens in that interaction. But I think that we can have a city and then we can have a development plan, just like all three of you, that what you and Tyler and Udo have talked about tonight. I think you guys can do everything that you said today. But yes, there have been some stonewalling and there's a lack of vision, but I think it's the people out here, a lot of people that are in the city, and it's people that are downtown and people that are everywhere around, that they just don't want to be part of it. So we got to go out and teach them what's the benefit and hook them in.
That, there's, recently I was talking to someone about, because there's people behind them have done their voluntary annexation. Their response was, what's in it for me?
Well, you know what? It's kind of funny that the next three topics and even the rainwater collection kind of ties into what we're talking about. So I vote we kind of start moving through some of these other topics because we're kind of going to be circling back anyway.
But before we leave topic 5, if I may say,
I would like to even make, and I'm doing this without discussing with my other committee members, reframing or renaming to the Citizens Committee and not a Planning and Zoning Committee. I think the negative connotation and using the right lexicon is very helpful. Because again, we are a committee, we are an advisory board or advisory committee. We don't make decisions. That's up to the commissioners. I would like to, that's my personal request, that's just me, and I'll end it at that.
Could the three of y'all discuss that real quick?
I second that. absolutely. And like I said earlier, it doesn't matter how we call that child.
Renaming would be great, I think, even like I was saying, a development board, just not, it seems very,
Yeah, zoning is bad.
seems
Zoning
very
makes my spine.
Exactly. It sounds
seems-
very regulatory, very authoritarian, and I wonder how much of that may be shy away potentials.
Where you go, your name right now, possibly.
Civilian committee,
City
cities,
committee, what'd you call it?
Development board.
Development board?
I like the word developing. I like that
Uh-huh.
word,
Yeah.
absolutely.
citizen and development board.
you go.
Citizens Development Board.
If we can call ourselves, okay.
CDB.
There's gonna be people that think that y'all are just a board
See, don't get it
sitting there
confused with that
waiting to
one.
take money from
CBD.
developers.
So that's why I say committee. I think I still like the
I
word
like it.
committee
I
because
like the word
it's
committee, and I like the word
it's
developing.
indicative of voluntary.
Developing comedy.
Okay.
Citizen
I love it.
Development Committee,
This is it.
Citizen,
Development Committee, and
I'm
citizens
just
being
curious, what did Sam say? What's the difference between a board and
board-
a committee? I just want to
Board
know.
has powers.
I
committee
did, I
has
say,
powers.
Jessica.
What Sam was saying, what Sam had said was that board is typically indicative, they're waiting for you to give them money, meaning the board's waiting for the folks to pay
Okay, I
something,
like
or a
that.
tax, or a franchise, or,
Committee.
or
Citizens,
The board goes way back.
Citizens Development
River board.
Advisory.
Oh, my goodness.
That's good.
No, that's
Why-
too much.
Why do we have to have the word citizens in there?
Because it's I thought it would,
Development Advisory Committee?
Because we are not developing the citizens, we are developing the floor, the ground, so that is
Development
confusing.
Let's buy the
my-
citizens. that switch to be-
Kingsbury Development Committee,
Citizens.
Not
Right,
political, not
Kingsbury Development
governmental.
Committee.
Kingsbury
yeah.
Development Committee.
Oh,
Bam,
even better.
solved it.
Right.
Correct.
High five.
I mean,
High five.
High five, yeah. Hey.
Kingsbury in front of it always
All,
sounds better.
I call the motion. My committee members,
Second.
do you got a second? Do I have a third? Sweet. Motion passed.
I make a motion that we rename the Planning and Zoning Committee to Kingsbury Development Committee.
I will second that motion.
Comedian.
Comedy, we're doing stand-up comedy now?
All right, we have a
And
motion
Wednesday
and a
evening beer
second
night.
to rename the Kingsbury P and Z to the Kingsbury Development Committee. Any further discussion?
Yes, I think we
Right.
just quietly say, just let the Kingsbury Planning and Zoning just
Right. All those in-
not be used, not be announced as,
Sure.
just stop using it and just now label
Yeah.
everything with this.
It has evolved. It has evolved.
It has evolved.
Alright.
Oh, yeah, we can announce
All
that.
right.
It's evolved.
All those in favor
Change
say
the name
aye.
of that message board as well, I guess?
Yes.
Yes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed say no. All right. There we go.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
and
thank you guys. First of all, this is a really amazing, well-written document.
I just want to add a little comment as also as another city person who volunteers. I also understand what it's like to get your word out and all that, and I just wanted to stand up for you guys a little bit. I know that every time you have a meeting, it's posted outside this building, it's in the paper, it's in the newsletter. I think I personally don't see any way you could be doing any better on that. So I think you're doing a good job on being as inclusive as possible. I don't know how people know this building's here. They know it's the fire department. They must know this is where the city meets. I don't know. At a certain point, like I kind of stand up for you guys, and on that side, I say you're getting your word out as rigorous as possible. It's amazing show that you put a newsletter together every week. So anyway, I think you're doing. I think you guys are doing a bang up job on that side. So I just want to stand up for you guys a little bit on that one. So.
Hours.
Yeah.
Hours and hours and hours every week.
Say
But
thank you.
I think it's important.
I want to tell you, I
Yeah.
think you're a magnificent person yourself.
Free beer and change.
Seriously.
And I'm
Yeah.
looking on, just as we were talking, Resolution 23-484 in Seguin was Texas accepting the petition for release from the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction filed by Jessica Gardner for a property in Guadalupe County, blah, blah, blah.
Welcome.
So that passed, and this was on
Oh,
November
right.
7th. And also one filed by David Lorenz and Tammy Lorenz, which is on Railway Street
Good,
there.
people
So
are
they
doing
did
it.
that. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. I believe, and I did have a few discussions with Brad Prock on the properties out there that you were talking about, and I'm looking to see if any of that is on their agenda for tomorrow. Block grant purchase. I have two or three more petitions for, three, because I was talking with, it's just me.
Yeah.
I talked to people at the store.
Good, thank you. And so some people that had recently been annexed didn't realize that they were, so now I've done theirs. Some people on Caldwell Street, and some people, another, so, yeah, we're getting it, but it is, kind of piecemeal, and I didn't get it into this last, I had it on my topics to include, and I was like, into my, fourth, fifth hour, and I, it's like, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to put there, and I didn't want to spend the time to, I'm like, okay, I will get that next time. I will get that next newsletter. And I don't see one on here for Brett. Yeah.
I think the mailer is going to be essential to, kind of getting the word out also about our city and,
Yeah.
kind of, so
Yeah.
we'll have to craft something.
All right.
That was number 6?
No, that was number 5.
Okay.
So item number 6, discuss and consider. This is discussion of SB 2038, releasing from an area's ETJ. Like I said, I have some that I need to submit. I probably will submit this week on that. What you can do as a city, if you get one of these petitions, is to just sit on it. And what City of Staples was saying, they got that one from that developer that they've kind of been, had kind of a contentious relationship with so far. But if you sit on it for 30 days, it becomes effective anyway. Seguin has chosen to, don't act on the petition. If you don't act on the petition, it becomes effective in 30 days. So a city has no choice in this SB 2038.
So does a property owner have to actually file a petition?
Yes,
Yes,
they do.
they do.
And we maintain
Yes.
it forever?
And
then?
They have to file a petition with the respective city.
Mhm.
The city can choose to not act,
Mhm.
and it becomes effective in 30 days of the date it was filed. Or they can add it to an agenda, which Seguin has been choosing to do. I don't know how many they get that they just,
But if they don't
Yeah.
act, do they have to keep that petition in their files forever? I mean,
That's
come
not
back
part of
10
their
years later, go,
ETJ anymore.
oh, no, you never petitioned for that.
well, I'm sure you do.
It's gotta be on the
That's
record
why when I
somewhere.
submit
Yeah.
people's forms, I do request that it is stamped received and that I receive a copy of it, then I
Okay.
return to the
Okay.
landowners.
So, wait, keep on. I've totally
I'm sure
lost
I
my.
understood that. So
If they don't.
if a resident,
Does not petition the municipality to release,
If they don't petition, then nothing happens.
then, okay, so if they do petition a municipality for release from the ETGA, and whether the city, that municipality does nothing within 30 days, it's an automatic release.
It's automatic.
That's good information for residents to know. That impacts City of Kingsbury as well. So that means that if someone's in the City of Kingsbury, ETJ, they have to petition to maintain, to stay,
No.
or
No, petition to leave.
petition to leave only? Okay, that's what I was confused about.
I'm wondering if you just stay in the ETJ because you don't know about this bill or whatever, can they annex you now?
No.
Yeah.
They cannot.
There's still no forced annexation.
Okay, so you could remain in the ETJ. So if people aren't caught unawares, but you're still be in the ETJ of Seguin.
Mm-hmm. And that there is, like you said, they can regulate it to some degree.
Yeah.
interesting. I wonder how many of
Can we put
Kingsbury
a
folks know
notice at
that.
the store?
Excuse me?
Can we put a notice at the store? Is that a?
Like put up a-
Sure. Yeah, I have the forms down there, but I do have a pack. There is a folder in the desk of the
Right.
forms.
But you mean like post something?
Yeah, like
Post a
post
flyer.
something, if we've got bulletin boards and stuff up in there, can we post something about this SB 2038?
Sure.
Just, you know, as the guy from the
Walk-in
Baptist
traffic.
church comes in, he would know that he can petition to be released from the Seguin ETJ because the Baptist church is,
And if you release the EJ, you move into the unincorporated part of Guadalupe County
You
then.
don't automatically become in the
Right.
ETJ of another.
Yeah.
If you'd like to
So-
be part of Seguin, you have to petition,
Right.
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury, you have to.
but
You were
just
gonna-
talking about the release, like, just to notify people
Yeah.
about
How easy
SB
it is.
2038, because I still feel like a lot of people don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be true.
Well, it'd be nice too in the store to be like, we have copies here in the store.
You can fill out your petition
Well,
right
it
now.
needs to be, yeah, it needs to be notarized. That's not to say that they can't pick up a petition and make it,
Somewhere. to
you
get-
know, and get notarized.
You were asking Art about a more simple petition or something like that?
Yeah, I've kind of gotten this one
You
down,
gotten
so
that
it
where it's
doesn't
okay-
bother me.
Okay, all right.
Why don't you go ahead and take a picture or scan the form in and put it on the Facebook site and say, this is what you need to fill out in order to, boom. You reach, I mean, as an admin, you see how many people you reach with your information. I'm an admin on the Kingsbury side. I see all the time how many people have been reached with that information, how many people really have read
Great,
that.
those are great analytics.
Take a
That would be great
Picture,
for
scan it
additional
in, put it on
marketing.
there.
outreach.
This is what you need to fill out in order to
Yeah, it's not only that, you do have to submit a map, and you have to submit your.
It's a start. People
It's a
will
start.
people
You
will
pique
then make
the
a comment.
interest.
People will make a comment on your post, and then you answer on the comment and straighten that up. And say, yeah, that's what you need to do. And then you come to me. I'm the mayor, and I sign it because I can notarize it.
Well,
Yeah,
this kind of-
typically I have them fill out the form, including this place in there, that's what people miss. If I'm not standing there saying, okay, sign down here.
Take a picture.
And then I get the address, and then I do the rest of the packet for them.
But
Is
could-
typically how
Could you
it's gone.
write out?
100% of the time,
Could
how
you
it's
write
gone.
out
Right out,
checklist procedure?
yeah, a procedure, step-by-step procedure of what has to be
What
done
has
to
be done, and
file
that
the
can be
petition.
posted on the Facebook
Yes.
page.
Don't make it too
But no,
long.
Not too-
no, I
If you
mean, like,
Yeah.
if people
10
have to
steps.
read too much, they don't read it.
10 bullet points.
I think it could
If
be
you need a
something
map,
like,
we'll
print
show
this
you how to
out
get
and
it.
bring it down to the store, or if you really want to, and then a bunch of small print of
If
how
you need
do
a,
it
if you need a
yourself.
notary, we can show you where to find one. You know, if you need a map, we can show you how to get it.
But this can
Just
all be,
contact us,
I mean,
contact
it
us.
can all be part of our mailer plan. You know, we can design the mailer and then take the graphics and put them on a Facebook post and put them on the website and do all of that at the same time and do a big blast.
Yeah,
While
I
we're-
mean, we have an account through the city of Kingsbury with Texas File. And Texas File is where I can pull up deeds, and I can get the meets and bounds from that. So, yeah, on something I could say, if you have your deed, you know, with the property description on there, you know, make a copy of that. Here's where you can go get a map, outline your property, you know. And if you don't have your deed or whatever, you know, come to me, I'll get it.
And what does it cost them to do all of this?
Nothing.
Nothing. There we go.
Unless you
Important.
have to pay for a notary.
Or get a survey. I mean,
I,
that would be-
yeah,
that would be
I
fun
don't
to
charge
do.
for,
Some people
Now I have a question.
They don't come.
most
maybe-
people charge for notary, I do.
Yeah, well, yes, you could,
I could.
you know, put it under the description
not.
there. We do it, very inexpensive
$5
notary,
for
whatever.
There you go.
I don't know what they charge. If this, properties we've annexed in what was adjudged to be Seguin's ETJ, and which we disagree with, but the properties that we annexed into our city that may have possibly been in Seguin's ETJ, we have their petition in, and we've considered it Seguin. The county's not sure that it
We have
is.
their petition in, then it's part of.
And they've been annexed into Kingsbury.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Like, for instance, Shirley's property.
Yeah.
downtown you're
Okay.
talking about.
Well, I guess, yeah. Ron Maloney's the only one I can think of, because I know we did him before 2038 came in.
Oh, yeah,
He-
voluntary.
Yeah, he
annexation,
voluntary
yeah.
annexed.
Yes.
But,
Ron
like I
never
said,
filed it, though. Did he?
Yeah,
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 we-
we've done voluntary annexation.
But now
from Ron.
the county doesn't want to put their stamp of approval on our annexation because
Right.
they're not sure because Seguin says it's in their ETJ, and we still haven't gone to court over that. Okay, so it's kind of up in the air. So now we're telling the people who have been annexed voluntarily into Kingsbury that they need to petition Seguin for release from Seguin's ETJ.
But again.
But
what-
then, do we have to
again,
re-annex them, or can we just go forward and say we annex them?
There is nothing in the statute that addresses,
What has happened?
well, the particular instance where a property was voluntary annexed with the agreement from the city that it was annexed in, that it was in the ETJ of, and then have that city then renege completely on what they agreed to. There's nothing in the statutes that addresses that. So it can be up to us to decide, is what my feeling is. There's nothing in the statutes that says, we could go back through the whole voluntary annexation, again. I believe it does say, that it is not automatically in another city's ETJ.
But it doesn't say it's not automatically another city. If it's already been annexed into another city, then it probably,
Now, what did it say about another city's ETJ?
like our city, if it's,
The statute does not address whether or not a city, property that is released by Seguin from its ETJ then becomes a legitimate part of Kingsbury's ETJ.
Right.
It does not address that. So we have to interpret the
Right.
different statutes, brand new statutes, and to apply them to the overall scheme. And that's why I think that, none of it has been adjudicated by.
I know.
I don't think, anyway, my opinion is you put all those statutes together, the pre-existing ones, and when we annexed somebody, or somebody that's, when we annexed somebody, then I think they came into our city. And we don't have to go back through the re-annexation
Correct.
petition when they get released from the Seguin ETJ.
Is there any
Right.
detriment to us to have them file a petition to Seguin to release them from Seguin's ETJ? Although we're contending that it wasn't in Seguin's ETJ to begin with.
If you were to do that, the only reason I would counsel against doing that is because you might be giving some credence to Seguin's argument, legal position that when you annexed it, it was already part of ours, and no city can have an ETJ coming into our existing ETJ. So so we would be saying, well, to get over that, we're gonna get out of your ETJ, and then we're gonna re-annex them because they might have been part of your property.
That we
Do
could
we
do.
need a map from the county right now? Really need one?
Yeah, I'm getting requests from, GVC for that, and it would be nice to have some maps. But the map files, it's not necessarily the maps. We are required, as a type C, we are required to have current maps. But the shape files
Work,
that come from,
the appraisal district?
from
Oh.
Road and Bridge,
Uh-huh.
the county road and bridge, those shape files, I send those to the companies that we collect franchise fees from. They require that, and Jessica can tell you, it's, GVC has been kind of on me, for shape files, but I cannot provide them at the moment.
Why can't you use appraisal district files?
That's exactly what I was.
It's, shape files.
Okay.
It's not just maps,
Oh,
it's,
that
it's shape
appraisal
files.
district is shape files?
Yeah,
Okay.
is what they're required. It's, I don't know, 5 or 6 files that come together, for these shape files.
And the county's our only resource for that?
Uh-huh.
And they just say they're not comfortable with doing it, or they don't want to change it for,
They say that we need Seguin's approval for our shape files.
All of
And
them?
Se-
Or just the ones?
because
The ones
of
that are
the
contested.
contested
ETJ.
properties
Okay.
inside their
Why
ETJ.
don't we just tell the county we've settled our differences with Mayor Dodge, and she says, we don't care, we're not gonna fight over this property anymore.
That's what she
Yeah,
said, but when
but
it
I
came
know-
down
I
to
know.
it, her
That's not-
email said it would put us in a precarious position to give you those, to give you that approval for
Right.
those shape files.
And I thought that was an odd response that she said because we, that would endanger Seguin's position.
Yeah.
Or something to that
Yeah.
effect. And but she said, we're not willing, we want you to, we'll make an agreement with you, but only after you dismiss your lawsuit. And I said, I agree with Art. He said, wait a minute, that's not the way
Right.
anybody does anything.
Exactly.
You always settle a pending lawsuit by saying, here's what our agreement is to settle. And part of that settlement is, once we sign this agreement, we are committing to file a motion to dismiss the lawsuit within the next 10
Right,
days.
it's typical
following the
settlement agreement or mediation,
And
great.
Seguin's lawyers apparently have convinced Mayor Dodgen that, no, or they have, for whatever reason, she came out and said, no, I want you to dismiss first, and then we'll do an
No,
agreement.
that's not how that works.
Well, people have done that to me for 40 years in the practice of law, and we said, hell no, I'm not going to dismiss my lawsuit against you for $250,000 when you give me a verbal promise to pay the $250. I'm going to dismiss the lawsuit after you pay the $250,000. That's the way everything is done in
Otherwise, there would be no lawsuit.
whether it's cities or.
Exactly, otherwise no lawsuit would
If
exist.
a property that is in contention here between whether it's, can be legally annexed by Kingsbury, or if it is legally in Seguin's ETJ, because the ETJ lines are drawn by a city. They're not measured, they're not accurate to any degree, they're drawn. It's an estimate. Man, and the county doesn't want to budge on it. What is the harm, just not for the city of Kingsbury to request petition Seguin for release from Seguin's ETJ, but for the landowner, even though they've already petitioned and been granted by Kingsbury to be part of Kingsbury.
Well, they have to petition Seguin, I mean, otherwise,
They don't, no, well,
Call their bluff.
I mean, if they
I
want to
see.
be,
Forces there.
they've already requested annexation into Kingsbury. We've already granted their request and have
and they go get released.
annexed them into Kingsbury.
And then they go get released.
Now they need to go, now they want to go, because the county won't recognize that.
County Road and Bridge won't recognize it, but they're not judges, and their opinion is not binding. There's something there, it's a problem, it's an obstacle to final resolution.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really, I don't know that it makes any difference.
I'm looking for
I
an
don't
easy way
care
not
whether-
to avoid court, a
If-
lawsuit,
Yeah.
and still get what we want.
If they've already been annexed, but we annexed them, and then they go to the city and Seguin and get released, and then the county won't change their maps, I don't care, because if we ever do fire up this lawsuit again, or if the judge for some reason gets a burr under her saddle and she decides, I'm going to set this to trial, we're gonna go in there and say, this has already happened, Judge. We annexed it. Seguin thought that was theirs. They've been fighting, but we annexed it. And then they went and got released from Seguin.
As
So
per-
it's already, it's Kingsbury.
resolved.
And we win. We win that argument, I believe, because judges want to see whatever somebody did if it was blessed by Seguin, by saying, I recognize your release, I release you, then that is,
There it
Seguin
is.
no longer has an argument for that
That's right.
property.
So it would
We don't need to
behoove
go.
us to ask the people who have been annexed into Kingsbury by their petition, but are questionably in Seguin's ETJ, to go ahead and request release from Seguin's ETJ.
Yes, sir.
That's called an education for SB 2038.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and SB 2038, basically,
Selling the idea.
yeah.
But anyway, either way,
SB 2038 was just the bill. The actual section in the local government code is 42.025.
So,
Now, it's different depending on if you're a general law, but, yeah. And I do see owner of an eligible property may petition municipality to release the property from the municipality's extraterritorial jurisdiction. It does say, the other municipality and any part of the other municipality is located in this, eligible property is released from the extraterritorial ETJ of a municipality, may be included in the ETJ of another municipality if any part of the other municipality is located in the same county and the other municipality and the owner agree to the inclusion of the property in the ETJ.
Oh,
So they
Say
don't even have to do
petition.
the
they don't even petition.
No, they do. It's once it's
Well-
removed,
it's still in the other one.
Oh,
it's
got
But
it,
they
still,
can-
it's basically an island of nothing.
got it, okay.
You know.
Okay.
But you can then become,
So they have to ask to become a part of our ETJ at that point?
apparently
I would
if the
want 'em-
owner,
I'd want them to
the
petition us.
municipality and the owner agree
Yeah.
that it's just part of the ETJ, not as part of city limits.
But we don't just agree, we have to put it on paper, so a petition to be annexed into
Yeah.
our ETJ or our
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
And that's,
So where?
no, we don't have, all the maps not
We
up
don't have a
there.
map of where the ETJ
You know, there are 3 of those maps back in my
Jessica's
office
office.
now.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if we could put one up in this room, since
We could
the,
probably
I mean, I
store
don't know
it
if the
there,
fire department would mind
or
or
will.
not.
Yeah.
It's just, they're
I
so
don't think we
big,
could
it would
leave
be
it up
kind
here.
of
I don't know if we
nice.
could leave it up here,
You
but-
don't think so?
I don't know. It's
I
kind of
don't
like
know.
we're moving in, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if the fire department would just like having, you know,
And we do use that quite often, so it wouldn't be.
I feel like I was leaving a toothbrush in the bathroom.
Big
Now,
flat
actually,
laminated
answer the
toothbrush.
Well, it's actually educational map. People might like to look at it.
well, I mean, that's what I was
we can
thinking.
break it
out.
is
It's good to have.
Who
Break it out.
dislikes a map?
Yeah, just
Don't
gotta get-
people
Yeah.
like maps?
So, yeah, I
It's a
can,
visual
Yeah, firefighters like
representation.
maps.
so I can post basically, instructions.
Well,
Huh?
I was just saying, why don't you just draft up a steps in order what it would
Let
take
us all
for-
look at it.
And let us all look at it, and we can give
yeah.
you some really good insight, and then be able to.
Here's the steps right here in basically,
Where they can
a
go.
map of the land to be released is attached to this petition, along with the description by meets and bounds or lot and block number. It's in compliance.
You'll see that just when you get through.
What if we posted it on the website and then when we do the mailer, and especially the internet blast for Facebook or whatever, maybe we'll do the
social
same
media
mailer and we
marketing.
could put a link of that to our website so they can click on something and get the piece of paper to print.
I think it would be nice to, like, if we had a page on the website and you could see, like, if possible, like an example of what the map looks like that they accept, you know, and, I mean, you know, we could use me and Tyler's property, just something where you can see what's being talked about, you know, like this map thing sounds a little, intimidating if you can't see an example to me, but if, but then once you see it, it's pretty simple.
And that's something that can also be put into the newsletter to
actually
push
like
people to the Kingsbury website
42-
for that information and click on those links.
It's actually
Get that
42-101.
form.
Right.
The same with Facebook, LinkedIn,
Like,
or X, whatever,
Just
all the social
this little
media.
piece right
Right.
here,
And
We have a
then,
lot.
and none of that,
Not have the map.
and maybe this big bold headline.
No, you have to-
You
Maybe
have to
two or
have the
three.
map and the
That's
deed.
all, none of the rest of that
There's a
stuff.
lot
It's just
information.
Yeah.
to make it very simple and look, this is 5 blanks to fill in, and you need a map, you need meets and bounds. We'll show you how to get that, we'll tell you how to get that. Notary service, we can provide that. Contact us, we'll show you how to do it. It's real easy.
Okay.
go,
And if you're not, and
go.
and if you wanna know what the benefits are, come to a commission meeting next third
And
Thursday.
in fact, when you get them to come to show you how to help.
Actually make an entire workshop of your commissioner meetings.
Yes, yes.
Now you're getting people to come.
Yeah.
I like this restrategizing and how everybody's doing your education and outreach.
We're not gonna offer just here's a form, download it, print it out, fill
right.
it out, turn it in the store.
We'll even
No.
assist you, and then
Yes.
you'll be part of.
Come to this,
Because now you got
whatever it's
skin in the
called.
game.
Yeah.
We fill that out together here at the meeting. It works.
Actually, can we bring the printer out? Well, do we need it? No, yeah, to print out people's, like, asking Jessica, but I guess
Expect-
everybody from the office, like if we did a meeting, we
Yeah, if
could
we
even
had a
bring the printer
scheduled
out and people could
workshop
print
for
out their,
people to come do
their
it.
shapes or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
I said 42-025, it's 42.104 of the local government code.
42.104?
101, yeah,
101 Texas Government Code?
yeah, local government code.
Local Texas.
Have we kind of moved into topic 7, the mailer?
Yeah, we kind of, but,
The training and seminar,
yeah,
and
so
get
when
everybody
we,
here,
yeah,
it needs to be a one fell swoop, beginning to end, and it's
That's what I'm
done
thinking.
that night.
but even.
They don't, no more commitment from the
Yeah,
people.
I will say that even in the Guadalupe County Governor, mayor's meeting, the people there don't even really understand this. I mean, we understand
Right.
it better than the rest of Guadalupe County understands it, I can tell you that right
Yeah.
freaking now. Because we've gone through the process, we have a vested interest in doing these petitions, so,
You're the ones that went and told them how to write the statutes in
yeah.
your legislature.
Yeah.
That's why you.
Well, and then, yeah, I was there at September 1st, 9 o'clock, filing my petition, which they made a kind of a comment about. So, yeah.
I would like, if possible, when the format of the mailer is put together, if we could have a large format of that to put on the counter at the store.
Yep.
Yep,
I think
like a
That's what I
posters.
want to talk about. I think we'll do all of it, because we might as well just use the same design and just. do it
Yeah,
everywhere.
I think that would be beneficial for, even the folks that aren't necessarily affected by the Seguin ETJ. I feel like if they, for whatever reason, aren't included in the mailer, they're driving from Luling to Seguin for work and they stop in for a Red Bull, having that, because people pay attention to what's on the counter in that store. They read those flyers, and I think that getting the information out even further than we need to is beneficial for everybody, I feel like, and just having a paper copy there that anybody can see,
Should we be posting things like the meeting notices and stuff at the store as well? I mean, I wonder
Wouldn't hurt.
how far to go with like just a city informational board.
Why not on the Facebook page too?
Yeah, you're right. Who comes?
Yeah, this one out here.
Oh, you have? No, I meant
Required by
That is
law.
required, yeah.
What's
Yeah.
happening in
Maybe we do a
Kingsbury
second one.
Oh.
Facebook page.
We can
Or
put,
just the City of Kingsbury government Facebook page.
Okay, well,
Just
yeah,
like that.
sure. I could repost it, what's happening in
okay.
Are we officially in 7 or are we?
I believe we are
We're
now
in it,
officially
for
in
sure.
7.
Okay.
Plan to create a mailer.
Okay, so I'm now thinking we will create a mailer, an EDDM mailer, every door direct mailer. We'll make a poster to hang around town. We will take that same design and we'll do Facebook, website, and the mail letter. Your mail letter would just pop it on there.
Newsletter.
Sorry, newsletter. And then on top of that, we will choose one day, a Saturday in January, I don't know, whenever, and get everybody to come down, maybe at your store if you're down for that, because that could be nice. We could offer hot chocolate and fill out the form and print out your file if you want to.
I mean, we did it I remember that very cold day at Gino's when we were collecting, we were out there on the corner.
And then at the same time, we have a table of like what Kingsbury can do for you, kind of thing. How to get involved, what we're up to, what we're thinking about with our future, how we want to make the city a better place to live.
Is there an anniversary date for the incorporation of?
May.
May? Okay, that's too far out. I just wondered if,
But a winter, like,
yeah.
I mean, mid-January, you know, holidays are done. Is that too late? It's next year.
It's never too late.
We have for this.
It's
I
never
mean, there's
too
things
late.
we can do now,
It's
Yeah.
never too late.
but
Well, I
Just
think-
thinking for the day to get together and have everybody fill out that stuff, that's kind of
Oh,
a bit of organizing.
After,
Yeah.
after the
I feel like after the holidays.
we're not ready for that, no.
Right.
But we're
I
gonna
mean,
get there.
But in the mailer, we should figure a date out, don't you think? So that we could be like,
You can make a hot chocolate social.
exactly, that's what I'm thinking, a hot chocolate social. Come on down, grab a cup of hot chocolate, fill out your thing, we'll help you send it off.
Okay, this is that one day,
Yeah,
and come in, okay.
January 10th.
January 10th?
I'd,
Throw it out there.
I mean, it'd have to be a Saturday probably, what day? Yeah, but I like
If
that
it-
earliness.
Everybody can sober up after New Year's.
Yes, come on down for some hot chocolate.
Everybody's done with turkey and.
What are you thinking, Frank?
I'm thinking, I'm not comfortable, and when we have all of our forms, all of our equipment, all of our steps,
Yeah, you can date now.
and everything set, we know what our places are, what our lines are, and we say, ready? Okay, that's when we pick a date.
Okay,
If we-
well,
Well, I do think
we have
though,
to
for the mailer, we
take
should have
date
a
before we do
date
the mailer.
planned so
Yeah.
that as we get out this information,
Yeah.
people know, oh, if I show up on this day, it'll
Yeah.
all
Okay.
get taken care of.
And-
for me.
one of the issues that we're looking at, I mean, some of these properties that are, you know, in question, you know, the owner has passed and now it belongs to children that are maybe no longer
Uh-huh.
gonna live here. And it's kind of piece by piece by piece, same way it was with annexation, it's
Yeah.
just piece by piece by piece by piece. With a election, you only need 5% of the residents in the area to do an election. So that is, when we met with the representative from Monica De La Cruz's office, that was, I still am, would like to pursue that. And it's not a City of Kingsbury thing. That's me personally.
so
So-
what are we talking about?
What kind of election do you wanna have?
Authority to request election for release. So a resident of an area in a municipality's ETJ may request the municipality, I'm gonna say city, to hold an election in accordance with this subchapter to vote on the question of whether to release the area from a city's ETJ by filing with the city a petition that includes the signatures of at least 5% of the registered voters residing in the area.
You're right.
But then it would have to go to an
That's
election after that, right?
City of Skeene has to pay for it.
Yeah.
But who would be voting in it? People of
The
Friends?
The people
in
in
the-
the area
in
that
that
we
area.
designate as
Oh,
the
so Kingsbury
area.
would be voting only on.
Only people in the Seguin ETJ.
Oh,
It would
So
only,
would
it
we be drawing the lines of what this area
Yes.
is
Yeah.
that's voting?
we
yeah.
can pick,
I think,
Gerrymander.
yeah, I think we,
We
yeah, take the people east of Seguin. Then we work with the people south of Seguin and north of Seguin and west of Seguin.
but I think, I mean, but I think,
But at least the people east of Seguin that are in the Kingsbury area, if you get 5% of the registered voters in that area, to file a petition, to sign an overall, like we did in corporation, it was one petition with the signatures and the registered voter, what is it, your voter number, then Seguin would have to pay for an election. But then you'd have to get 50% of the people voting in that election, not necessarily 50% of landowners,
Exactly.
but 50
This is what I'm
50% of
wondering
the
about.
Who
people,
vote? Who actually vote?
Yeah.
registered voters.
Oh, registered voters?
Uh-huh.
I thought it were the people who vote. in the
Well,
election.
okay, so we can do many different
Registered voters
tactics,
in
but
that
we should,
area.
All right, well, that's the way cities can still annex.
No, yes,
The
yes,
same
you
way.
are correct.
So, and I'm not sure, I think they had like a 200 resident minimum.
Yeah, they do.
So we'd have to do the same, or
No.
do you, no?
You just
No.
need 5%.
Just 5% of whatever, so we just have to survey,
Yeah,
we have to get 5%, survey an area, count how many voters,
registered
and then
voters.
find 5% of them that'll vote yes. And
Sign a
then
petition.
we draw the line and say, okay, here's.
Just like we
and-
incorporated.
Yeah, and then y'all vote, and we already got 5%, we know,
Yeah.
okay.
And then you have an election.
Yeah.
You do a lot of big push, during that.
Oh, 5% on the petition.
Yeah, you need
Not-
5%.
We still need 51%.
the
But then,
safer
of
way
course-
is probably gonna be
Okay.
to have them take themselves out. So I think
But
we
it's,
should
but
definitely
it's
try to get as many
piecemeal,
people that way.
tiny little pieces.
Sure, but
here.
we'll do that day, we'll get everybody, as
Okay.
many people as we
I'll
can,
work on the
and
other
then
parts.
we can, and then that day, we can also talk about this
Yeah.
other thing and have them
Okay.
sign.
I mean, I guess, one part of it is like, if we did the election thing, then some of these properties that nobody's gonna say anything about it either way, because they're dead or gone or whatever, those pieces would
Yeah.
get,
Incorporated without having to,
or get out of the ETJ.
They're not
Without
incorporated.
having
They're
to
just
say
released
anything.
from an
Yeah.
ETJ.
But, yeah, I don't know, it does make me nervous to think about trying to get 50%.
yeah, I think
of
the
people
safer
in
bet
the
is to
area
get
If
come
you
people
out.
to
don't,
take
if you
themselves
don't,
out.
then you're no worse off than you are now.
Yes, unless people who would be petitioning and definitely have a surefire thing. And
Yeah.
No, they can
doing
still
an
do that.
election.
Yeah. I
This
guess
is
it's
just a
where
way
do
to
we
do it
put our
in a bigger
energy?
It's a
than-
possibility.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. There's two parts to the statute. One is landowners, and the one is an area by registered voters. So
I like the
it
individual, I
doesn't
like the
mean
individual approach.
that there's
I do.
nothing saying you have to do one or the other, or that one
I
excludes the
guess
other.
though, I mean, one thing is that if we keep trying to get people to do their own petition, but then at some point later, we decide to do this election thing, then a lot of the people who
Well, it's
are.
not us deciding to do it. It's the landowners would decide
Well,
to
okay,
do it.
but, if we make this push to do the election, and we've already had a lot of the more engaged people take themselves out of the ETJ, then that's just fewer people who are gonna show up to vote in this election.
Yeah, I think we'd have to look at a map and figure, I definitely think the individual people and, if Shirley can figure out something on that realm, cool,
I don't
but
know. I think
it's a
an
more
interesting
surefire
question.
thing to have
I'm just
people.
thinking.
Okay, but it's an option.
Yeah.
Can-
Yeah.
Can we go ahead then?
Yeah.
So I just have one.
Yes.
One comment.
And not to counter Sam's recommendation for January 10th, but I would recommend that utilizing the already scheduled Kingsbury Commissioner meeting scheduled for January the 15th in 2024, Monday, would be a good day to do the workshops.
I was thinking it should be on Saturdays, people are off work, like the
Well,
13th, and with
Monday
the hot
is-
chocolate
Our
downtown.
Monday meeting is typically on MLK Day, so it's probably,
I didn't even think about MLK Day.
yeah, it's probably a holiday. We still have our meeting, but yeah, it's usually
Maybe
a
a
work
Saturday
holiday, bank
after our
holiday.
meeting? Maybe a Saturday after our next meeting, or January meeting?
So that would be January 20th.
That's getting late,
Is
yeah.
after.
Do we want to
or
have it in
January
December? I mean,
13th.
it's not like I'm,
I think you got more folks traveling for the holidays.
Yeah.
Part of December, but I mean, the 13th, that's kind of still early, it's after the holidays, it's early
We have a
enough.
meeting in
It's a
December.
Saturday, and then we could talk about it at our meeting
okay.
afterwards. All right, so is everybody thinking,
Recommendation.
would the 13th work? Are you willing to make hot chocolate? Or at least open up your space for hot chocolate and I'll make the hot
This
chocolate?
is January 13th?
Yeah,
Saturday.
Okay.
And
I'm
someone,
drinking beer, I'm not drinking chocolate.
We'll have beer too. Beer and hot chocolate.
Well, we'll
have something
sweeten it up,
alcoholic.
sweeten it up.
Yeah.
and someone's gonna send out the letter that tells me everything I need to know.
So that's
about
what we need to figure out, because I can do all the graphics all day long. What are we saying on this here card? And EDDM cards can be pretty big, and we
Well,
can
I
do
don't
them
think you have to
both
have-
sides.
I don't think you've got to have everything figured out today, but I think it's a plan. I mean,
Yeah, we're not gonna figure that out tonight. Exactly what's gonna go on these mailers.
Okay. Well,
Well, if we're not
who
gonna
are we
figure it
working
out,
out?
we
Who am I
should
working
set up
with
a
on it?
workshop.
Because it takes me a
Converse.
while to design cards. And
Are you gonna
I need-
converse by email or on phone?
Well, if Jessica is willing to work on it with me, we can talk unhindered by regulations. So we could work on it together, possibly. But I need to know what dates and
Yeah.
if we have January 13th, that
I mean, I
works.
feel like
fine.
Shirley should be in on it.
Yeah.
because
Well, you
I feel
could be a
like
little
you know more
liaison.
how
bring a
this
draft
works
to the
than
next commission
anybody.
meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wait, what?
A draft of the
Draft.
card.
do whatever you want, bring it to the next commission meeting.
Okay.
But you might
Um,
talk to people individually off and on. You know.
Well, what do we want on this? We want to talk about SB 2038. We want to talk about the future of our city. We want to talk about, we kind of want to scare people a little bit so they take notice.
What is the purpose of what is the general purpose of this?
To get people to understand about SB 2038 and
Incentivize them
incentivize them to come down and drink hot
leave
chocolate and-
Seguin.
Incentivize them to
Leave
petition
Seguin.
to leave Seguin's ETJ.
Right.
Okay.
And bring up that there will be a day that you can come down and be helped to do
Okay.
that.
yeah.
To do that
So,
paperwork. too.
are you in Seguin's ETJ? Do you know what that means?
Right.
You know?
Are you in their
Do you know
outer
how,
loop?
do you know how easy it is to get out of it now with Senate Bill 2038? And we can show you, we can help you, we will assist you. No obligation and no cost.
You gonna be there?
I will be there.
Okay.
What's the date?
January 13th.
January 3rd. See, somebody has to tell me all this stuff. I need it in writing. My writing won't work. 28th?
I'll keep reminding you, Frank.
What
I'll
time?
make sure you're there.
We don't know that yet.
Udo's bringing the Kahlua.
I think we're at 13,
All right.
right?
Saturday the 13th, I'll
Oh,
bring
the
Kahlua.
13th.
I'll bring the whiskey for the coffee.
See,
Lucky
January
13th.
I'll make the hot
13th.
chocolate more
It's
efficient.
a-
All right, that's it. Well, near the
For
store, at
coffee or
least.
hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah, yeah, so, yeah,
And
right.
what is this called? What kind of meeting is this?
It's a workshop.
Heard
Workshop?
that name before, but this is long ago that way.
Is it
Okay.
a
ETJ evacuation.
Chocolate liqueur.
easy to have?
Chocolate, yeah.
ETJ,
Rum, the base alcohol.
shit. Anyway,
Lumumba,
ETJ.
Lumumba, they call that.
You think we
All
can
right.
come up with something that will catch eyes? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be happy to
sure.
help.
And then we'll
I
bring it
mean,
to
we
Shirley.
can just email it around.
Yeah.
And.
Or put it on the message board or
I got a
something.
volunteer from E here.
Jessica, Allison, as a interested resident member, I'll be happy to help with.
Creating the flyer and kind of
Okay.
help with, and you can utilize my
Yes.
experience of outreach and education in that regard to help
Good.
formulate that.
Wording would be great.
Yeah. Well, do you want to work on I guess maybe one of us should say, I will work on a first draft of wording and.
I'd
send
rather
it
work on
around.
graphics and leave the wording to everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless-
I mean, I
I'm happy
can
to
try it
do
out, but if you're interested in.
I'm just happy to help in any way that you need. Think about it. It doesn't have to be resolved today or tonight, because we got.
Frank had the wording down.
We still, yeah, no, I think that wording's great, because we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more topics to go through, and it's already 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
30 almost.
Okay.
All right, Kay. All right, you're holding with us.
Number
I will
7?
write something and I'll
We
send
have
it
done
around.
that.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yay. Okay.
All right. Item number 8, discuss and consider HB 2127, the so-called super preemption bill. Excuse me.
Yes. Well, you weren't at the last meeting, so we didn't get to hear what.
But you're still responsible.
So what's happening in Houston?
Well, and I don't have much to report because there's nothing much happening in Houston. The Houston attorney, city attorney has not yet sent me their petition or their sample brief. So I haven't got anything, but I'll follow up with them and find out where the paperwork is. I understood.
Is there any movement in that case? I mean,
Well, typically, I wouldn't expect it. I don't really know what is going on, Jessica, but wouldn't expect that there's a whole lot because, or what they should be doing is the discovery phase. So they filed a lawsuit against the state, and so they're now into a discovery phase. Both of them asking the state and the city of Houston, asking each other written questions. What do you mean in this lawsuit by such and such, or well, state, what do you mean by this language in 2038 or 20 whatever it is, and produce any records and studies that you have, and anything like that. And then there's not a lot of discovery in a legal case where it's a legal principle. It's not a factual dispute over a contract. So I don't think discovery is going to be very much, but mostly what the lawyers are doing is probably should be working on a motion for summary judgment to say, Judge, you don't have to have a trial of this case because as a matter of law, we can prove with this paper evidence that attached to this motion that there's no genuine issue of material fact. It's just we're asking you for an interpretation of law. And so, and here's how you should interpret it. And so give me a summary judgment. That's what they're working on right now, is a motion for summary judgment. And so the judge of the district court that's got it in Travis County has just read their petition, but doesn't know anything else and awaiting for their briefing. So that's why they should be getting their briefs together. They'll file what's called a motion for summary judgment, and then they'll have a brief in support of a motion for summary judgment. And those are the two main documents, and that's what I've asked them for, is their brief in support of their position. And I don't have it yet.
Okay.
But I wouldn't expect a case like that. To some extent, it won't be like Judge Crawford here in Guadalupe County on Seguin versus Kingsbury. She doesn't want to touch it. None of the judges do. It's a hot potato political, and it's just all it does is trouble for the judges. But a district judge out of Travis County, they're different. They know this is part of their job by being Travis County, where the state capital is. They have to make decisions on political issues. So they won't shy away from this. Those judges won't. So they're not going to be, but these lawyers are going to take a long time to write their motions and everything else. And they may be even trying to do some mediation, but I don't think that mediation makes much sense because everybody's backed into their corner, and Governor Abbott or the legislature has got their mindset. City of Houston's got their mindset. They're all trying to figure out how to write it up in the most persuasive way they can to get and they know that it's not over with when the Travis County District Judge decides, okay, one of you wins on your motion for summary judgment. It's just going to be appealed. This is the kind of case that's going to go to the Court of Appeals in Travis County. And so I would expect that probably the judge is not going to make a decision on this until next May or June at the earliest, and it might be next year, September. And then it'll go up to an appeal, and the appeal will be filed with the Travis County Court of Appeals, and they will look at it. They probably will not do anything for 4 to 6 months, and then they'll issue an appellate. There'll be arguments before the appellate court. So I don't think this case won't be decided until probably early 2026 or middle 2026.
Okay.
So you offered them our assistance and help
Yes.
if they require or ask for it?
Yes.
And so we have no obligation waiting to hear back from them?
That's right.
All right, and the way you're talking about time-wise, we can drop this
We can
from,
probably drop it
not
until-
table this,
until
we
you
can just
get-
dismiss this until we hear back from them or from you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I think
right.
so.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Item number 9, discuss and consider citywide rainwater collection update. Tyler, is there any update from?
Haven't been able to get together with Sam.
Aha!
Do you know, Sam, do you know anything about the proposition that just passed about water? There was a,
Yeah, there's a whole lot more money in Austin ready for our grant application.
okay, that's what I was
Nice.
thinking. That's what I was thinking. There was,
That's
one of the
all.
propositions that just got voted on was for water, I don't even remember the verbiage there, but alternative water solutions. Don't quote me on that. But it did pass, and I'm not sure what all was involved in that.
I think it was basically $1 billion set aside by the legislature from the rain day.
Rainy day fund?
Rainy day fund. And it's set aside and to the, and just to be used as grant money to fund water development projects
Okay.
approved by the Water Development Board.
Great.
So it just, they used to have a more limited budget, now it's wide
A lot
open
bigger.
because of
Okay.
somebody's in. But there's gonna be a lot of people, obviously,
Sure.
looking for parts of that, so we best get ours.
Get on it.
Yeah.
Well, then what can we all do to help, do we need to, these grants or?
Well, I'm gonna try my hand with Tyler at writing a grant application. And I think, I'm sure Tyler and I both, and neither one of us are averse to help from anybody else that's got an idea. And you have some experience with grants, we may ask you. And but I think that's the main thing is there are, and I need to get up to speed with where Tyler is on his study of the Water Development Board's guides. A guide, they have a guide to how to apply for a grant and what the process is, and that's what we need to do. And Tyler has referred me to the Water Development Board site, and that he explained to the commission when he first came to us. And I just need to sit down and study it and find out if there's a grant application in there. And then Tyler and I and whoever else needs to be involved needs to fill out a grant application saying Water Development Board, the City of Kingsbury wants to borrow $1 million, or we want $1 million grant to, and then we're going to set forth whatever
All right,
our object is.
go get us $1 million.
Sounds great.
So,
Let
You're
me
gonna
know.
pay that back.
Tyler,
No, he
Sam?
said, he would borrow first, and I was like, he's a
No,
grant, and that's, okay, there we go.
So-
then I looked at Frank and I said, no, we're not borrowing anyway.
Yeah,
So-
sometimes
so-
there's like a matching requirement
Yes.
or,
Okay.
it's a partial grant, but yeah, if it's just flat out grant, that's,
So let me know, Tyler, Sam, let me know if you need a point of contact within Texas Water Development Board. I have a good working relationship with, and I'm sure there's somewhere within that entire organization, some sort of technical assistance
Yes.
for that. So just let me
Okay.
know.
Great.
You may find it through the website, but if you need an actual point of contact, someone to reach out directly, phone call, pick up a name, you let me know and I can help you with that.
Because
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of thing, as you
Yeah.
know.
That's good.
You get a lot more done if you just file file an application with the state agency, who knows?
Goes
what's gonna
into the
happen.
black hole.
But if you
Yeah.
talk
If
to
you know
somebody
someone-
in advance, say, I'm thinking about doing this, what can you do to help?
So let me
yes,
know.
ma'am, we
Let me
will.
know.
We will
Okay.
call upon you.
Absolutely. Very cool. Yeah, and then I guess the couple of options that I think that we should look at is I need to put together a plan to bring to the fire department. They meet on the first Thursday of every month. And so I need to put together a proposal for them for land and roof usage, what that would mean. Are they willing to work with us on that? We gotta solidify that as far as a large-scale community collection site. And then as far as other grant-worthy blah, blah, blahs. Also, I would like to try to figure out, as an incentive to incorporate into the city of Kingsbury, a rebate program from the city that would allow individuals to set up their own rain catchments for their own personal use, as opposed to just drinking water, a drinking water that you can come and get. If there's a rebate program from the city, which could also be funded by grants from the state, that way individuals could have a rain collection set up at their residence that they could then use to, depending on the size of catchment available, be able to get rid of crystal clear.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. If you build in a rebate just like that, then you
Yeah.
could market it to say, you wanna get rid of crystal clear and actually have good,
Incorporate
Clean
into
water?
Kingsbury city limits.
be part of city Kingsbury.
I'm gonna give you some, what I wanna see.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
great. I'm
Yeah.
all for it. I feel like a community collection for drinking water for human consumption and livestock consumption is a great way to make sure that there is water available for the people and creatures that need it. But also, and also possibly, revenue generating situation.
What I tell you what's in my head, it's like, if you could make it work for the fire department here, that'd be excellent, because not a mega, I'd like to see an operation that is public, that is a learning educational tool to inform the public of what's possible and what you can accomplish with this little bit of investment.
Right.
And like this, in a year's, the fire department gets all their water from rainwater.
Yep.
They don't have no tap in the building.
Yep.
Runs anything except rain.
Yep.
All right. And then if once in a while they get a really good set of thunderstorms, maybe they fill up, pump truck or something, or a tank truck or something. I don't know.
Well,
But on display, and then all the money I'd like to see somebody, like I said,
It's a good demo.
teach it, to demonstrate, to promote it. I still see for this area and the way we live now and what we kind of envision is 5-acre lots spread out, more agricultural than not. It's an individual utility, but it's your own, and it's privately owned.
Yep.
It's yours,
That's right.
and you can do it pretty inexpensively.
Right.
And it's not that complicated, and we'll help you through it. And look, here, this works every day.
Yep.
Every day.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, great.
Turn the
thing to
water
move
hose on
into
it.
the old
That's
country
rainwater.
store is a
Yeah.
city water department.
There we go. Right.
All right.
When you speak about large scale, what is large? How many gallons?
The capability of the roof over just this building, that doesn't include any of the adjoining structures or possible additional adjoining structures, at a 36-inch average per year in Kingsbury, that is 160,704 gallons a year
That is a
of
big tank.
potential.
Yeah. You can, most likely a 10,000 gallon tank, you can fill up with a
Well,
rainstorm we had
10,000 gallons would take about
14
5
days ago.
minutes.
It's full, with a roof like that? It's-
Five
No,
minutes.
Yeah.
you would need to
5
break
minutes.
up like multiple, if they have greater than 30,000 gallon tanks. I mean,
There
but
are.
you-
There
right.
are. There's a 100,000 gallon galvanized steel tank, 42 foot in diameter, 23 feet high. $68,000 and some change for the tank.
68,000?
Yeah.
For the tank.
And this is just from one source.
Right.
This is just one.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying, well, 22 foot, if I had one at my house, I'd have to have a small tank
Well, that's-
pumping it to fill.
That's 100,000
Okay.
gallons though.
Well, I'm
you know?
also looking at how much water I use every month.
Sure,
And it is not a small amount, and we don't use much water.
right?
I don't even know what it is. 5,000-6,000 is a minimum, and we're always over the minimum.
So typically on a large residential,
Structure, you're looking at a 30,000 gallon tank.
How much water am I gonna use? How much is it?
I don't know.
I know.
Depends on what you do with it. When
It
you
depends
use
on what you do
When
with
you
it.
want to
but-
drink it, shower in it.
But
no?
typically, like for a large ranch-style home
Uh-huh.
that has that much roof, a 30,000 gallon tank will not only supply the gray, will do all your drinking, plus your dishing, all that, your toilet, your shower, and all of that, minus your gray water. And then it's up to you and how much you actually utilize. But I have friends both here within the Kingsbury area that actually have such, and it never goes empty. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
that's a lot of water.
I have currently 4 tanks on my property, 600, 900, 1100, and 1200 gallons. And I'm getting 2 more next week. No, one more tomorrow. I don't even know what I want to do with them. It's
Hey,
too
but
much.
rain,
It's
water's
just-
gold.
Yeah, sicherlich. Sure it is. I mean, right now,
Backside.
I only want it for the garden, that Deborah can feed the
everything.
flowers a little, and we give that water to the chicken. Even when there is algae in it, it's good for the garden. That's fine. We don't treat that water at all.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anything else on that?
thank you, Tyler, thank you, Sam.
Yes.
Okay.
Item number 10, discuss and consider train crossing at Gandersley Road. Wow, it seems like it's been longer than that, but I looked back at the minutes and I didn't have anything on there. I talked with Raquel Espinosa with Union Pacific. According to her, they should be breaking the train at Gandersley Road, which we know is not really the case. It's, she was going to verify with the dispatcher that they understand that is I don't know if it's a requirement or a mandate, or they're just requesting that if they are blocking Gandersley Road. We did have a conversation about, I asked about, is there a way to pre-warn people that it's being blocked? She said, well, as a matter of fact, she was just in Eagle Pass, and they had train crossing, the sign, when flashing, train crossing is blocked ahead. I drove around on Google Maps in El Paso, kind of looked and see where there's a train crossing, went back a few blocks, did a street view, and boom, I landed right where there is that's what it says,
So they provide these?
GPS.
She went to the city administrator for Eagle Pass to find out. He said, yeah, it was TxDOT. That
TxDOT.
actually, it's not DPS, it's
Interesting.
TxDOT, did provide those. He said they didn't even know about them. They just like suddenly appeared.
So maybe we need to reach
And-
out to TxDOT.
Well, I reached out to
All right.
TxDOT. So I reached out to Will Lockett, who is our representative with TxDOT. I have not really gotten any response back from him, so I contacted Linda Lopez. She's the San Antonio director for this area, asking if Will Lockett is still the person for us. And she said yes. I mean, I didn't know if he had moved on, because I'm just contacting him through email directly. And she said, nope, he is still our person. So I will continue to contact him regarding that. Being that it is a county road, I'm not sure, what our possibilities are, for that. I did talk to Raquel about, webcams. I talked to her about, other options there. she wasn't really well informed about what are, you know, other things that could be done there. But it did seem like a flashing, that doesn't mean that when you get down there, there's not suddenly a train going
Yeah.
across or anything, but
Right.
it does mean that if there is a train blocking, that
Well, it is a county road,
it is a county road.
but it's, the reason we're asking for it is because it's all the people on that county road and that whole area on that county road are trying to access State Highway 90. And they have no access to Highway 90 if the train is blocking the crossing. So, we don't.
That is correct.
They can put it on 90, but the people on 90
It
are
is
not
a
trying to
feeder
cross.
too.
They're on
yeah,
90 already,
for all
yeah.
those neighborhoods
And it's, yeah.
back there
And we just
too.
want to know that we have
Yeah.
to drive 3 miles and then turn around and come back 3 miles and then go another 3 miles. And
Yeah, so
20,
I
30
will
minutes later.
continue to reach out to Will Lockett. And if I'm not getting in touch with Will Lockett, I will go back to either Miss Lopez or Miss Espinosa.
If you will get any response in the future, I did a research. My fear is that the signal is giving a sign of a train if it is moving or not. So it will not make us, it would be stupid actually to give a signal for a moving train because the train is moving. We need a signal for a train which is
Train that-
standing and blocking.
That's a good
And-
point.
Yeah. So you need to make sure when you speak to somebody from TxDOT that
Then you need a signal that.
we don't need a signal for a train which is moving.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
We need a signal that,
Well, for
Union-
one that it's
Union-
not going, it may be moving, but will stop. So-
well,
Yeah, it's a tricky
Yeah.
thing. The best is seriously still, in my opinion, a webcam.
2 miles.
they, yeah, that would be, that's the best
Yeah.
probably. If
2 miles
it's
an
a
hour.
signal that's actuated by somebody, it's Union Pacific needs to actuate it when they know they're gonna be stopping, you know, or when they have stopped, then they can flip the switch, they have remotely, whatever. But,
Okay, yeah, the sign thing, just, it was one of the things that we threw out there when we were talking about this before, and she was like, she had never even heard of, she works for UP, and she had never even heard of these signs before. She just happened to be driving around Eagle Pass doing business, and then she saw it.
It's a simple thing, actually.
Yeah, I know,
Most likely-
exactly.
Most likely, they can give a signal on the rails itself that you get an SMS on your phone, or what you call a text message.
Right,
Sure, yeah?
right.
That you have a text, oh, there is a train blocking your Gunderslow right now. We have applications for everything.
I know.
And I'm sure there's already an application
Yeah.
existing. If not, maybe we have a computer genius here and he can write a program for that.
Yeah.
Now we're making money.
Yeah.
have y'all experienced less blockage?
Yeah, less. I mean, lately, well, I'm semi-retired. I'm not the one who is driving a lot there.
Me
No,
either.
it's
My wife commutes every day,
it's
but-
other people which are driving more. But it's frequently, it's
Have you seen them break the train though?
One time.
in 2024 3 times maybe. Yeah.
2023?
2023 maybe 3 times. Yeah. At
How
most.
about
I've seen them once.
Yeah.
We saw
They do,
one
but it
where
took
they
them
broke the
6
train.
hours or so.
Yeah.
Right.
And Janet's report is that it's not uncommon to find a train, but she said it's moving, and so she's gonna wait. And she said, and none of them keep slowing down until they stop, so they continue to move. She said once they blocked Kingsbury Road in town, but they left the second entrance open.
Yeah.
Which was just enough to clear
Yeah,
Gandersley.
that's not uncommon.
It was just enough to clear Gandersley, so.
If they're blocking both of them,
That's
then
not
there's
good.
something going on.
Yeah.
That, they've got a problem with the
Yeah,
car, with
right.
the train. So, okay, so I like the text message thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
So I will continue to pursue that, whether it's webcams, whether it's signage, whether it's text message. Yeah,
You have to come up with a color.
yeah,
Sorry?
I need a color, like an amber alert, silver alert, gray alert.
yeah.
Something like
A
that.
color for the train,
Yeah.
train alert.
Item number 11, discuss and consider Clifford money designation. Do we have any updates or any?
Well, so yes, I mean, I would like to propose that we, since we have a rainwater collection plan, that maybe we consider diverting the money for that. It is water. We don't have a plan for a well because we have nowhere to put a well right now. There's a lot of blockages with the plan for the well, and it is water, which is needed.
The paper street, we don't want to abandon that.
We can't do it now because it's in Seguin's ETJ.
Yeah, well,
Well, we'd have somebody has to own it, right? And then they can request it to be removed from the ETJ.
Would Will Hemick be a viable option for claiming that paper street? Isn't he a neighbor? Isn't he a
he is one
neighbor?
The
Right.
quit
Well, I
claim.
mean,
I'd be glad to file the claim. I
Somebody
don't
has
mind.
to-
And I'll turn it over to the city as soon as we're through. You
Right.
know,
It's-
I do not want
You
to.
have to petition the
You don't
neighbors?
have to
or-
be, you can. And in this case, it would be the thing to do. I mean, if it's been, on your property, if you've been paying taxes on it the last 10, 15 years, probably not, but in this case, I would say, yeah, that the adjacent landowners would be notified.
Right.
Which is what Lavoy Dell did, and had a letter from the landowner of San Marcos Street, which never existed, saying, yeah, I don't want to own that and pay taxes on it, yeah, it would be, I think, pursuant to go ahead and contact the adjacent landowners
Right.
of that, and go ahead and just go. I mean, there's nothing, it's not like we're gonna be punished for trying.
Right.
I think we go ahead and give it a shot.
Do we contact the adjacent landowners before we file the claim, or is that all in, I mean, I don't know the procedure.
Well, you can file mostly it's deed without warranty, not the quit claim,
Well,
but a deed
whatever.
without warranty. But before you submit that, it would, you would have to include the
Really?
letters from adjacent
Adjacent, okay.
landowners.
Okay. All
Does
right.
it have to be done by an individual, or can the city?
I think the city can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the city can do
I
it.
said something about Will because I didn't realize that the city could do it, and I know that Will is in that area.
Yeah.
And so that if he were able to do it, then he could give it to the city?
I have looked, I probably need to ask. We could ask, just even City of Staples, they have the old schoolhouse is their Staples Center,
No.
is their city offices. Whether you then pay, taxes on that, property taxes on that.
Not
Does
if
it
you're a
mean
municipality.
I don't know. Do
I
you know
don't-
that for sure?
No, I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I don't think so. But I don't think Seguin pays property tax on any of their buildings.
I don't know.
I
Do
don't
they?
think the Guadalupe
So
County
they
pays
don't pay
property
any school
tax.
tax?
I don't know. but
I don't either.
I don't think so.
So, I'll ask, but that was a question that I had.
But
I'm
I'm-
like, if we incur this, are we incurring, I mean, if we, follow through on this, are we incurring a tax,
Liability.
payment? Which, I don't know how much it would be, but, yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find.
Well, I would push that we figure out whether we can do a quick claim on this.
Okay.
Because if we can't, then I would like to see the money go towards some water stuff, which Tyler already has a plan for. So, it's just like,
Well, this may not
we have the
cost
money,
anything.
let's get some action
No, no.
going
Yeah.
with this
Okay.
water situation.
This may not cost anything.
Yeah,
very,
if we
very
can get
little.
it, that's wonderful.
But if we could meet the terms of the grant to put in a building, an electrical generator,
Yep.
a rainwater collection,
Be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
a little park, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. Some beautiful trees there.
Rainwater collection, if we can't put a well in, which the little I read, it's like, maybe you can, maybe you can't. There's no hard.
Because of the
the
nearby
distance.
septics.
Yeah, and it's not a hard, fast rule, but,
Yeah. Well,
But
let's examine
it's
it.
rainwater collection, then, okay, there's another public example of what you can
Yeah.
do for yourself.
Put a water tower up there, City of Kingsbury.
There you go.
So we have a, so are you saying that you'll be able to provide us a cost estimate for that signage by next meeting?
What signage?
Is that what I'm
The claim?
understanding regarding the train crossing at Anderson?
Oh,
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 back
I'm
No, I
sorry.
was just waiting on phone calls back from,
Oh,
we're talking
are we?
about the.
no, I'm just trying to find, we're on item
11.
number 11.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to find, on item number 10, I'm just trying to find out from the text dot representative,
Got it, okay.
if that's a, you know, he may say, oh, that's this kind of road, we don't have anything to do with that, and maybe we pursue other alternatives.
Okay, so the cost was about the CO.
So, yeah, we're
Okay.
basically trying to figure out if we can get this piece of land, because it would be nice for the city to have some land. It would be wonderful.
It would be.
But I just kind of want to put a fire in everybody's butts so that we do
Yeah, that's why I
something.
keep asking
Yeah.
for.
It'd be a pity if we got some
Deadlines.
crazy drought and then like we have money for rainwater or water and there's no water because
Yeah.
we didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Item number, anything further there? Okay.
Well, I mean, should we, who is gonna look into this land issue this month? You are. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Item number 12, and let the record show that
Yes. And then we can readdress it next
That
month.
Shirley
when we
Nolan
know
held up her
whether
hand.
this is a possibility or not.
Yeah, I have 2 exclamation points here, Jessica.
All right, paper street, paper street.
That means it's.
Really. Item number 12, discuss and consider possible water leak at Kingsbury Road and US 90. Jessica,
I sent an email,
yeah, I did too.
yeah.
So
I
no
did too.
response, huh?
After I didn't see yours until after I'd sent mine.
Okay.
But so I did too. It's just
Yeah.
generating this pothole that's not going to get any smaller, you know.
Yeah, well,
and
and
with
it
the
appears
recent
to be
little
getting
showers, you
better.
can't even really. I looked at it today,
Yeah, I was I looked at it
Yeah.
today too. But
and if it's
there
not
is so much
gushing,
water in the ground.
If they're talking about raising the rates for people because they're using too much water,
I know.
they need to fix their own leaks.
I know if it's
infrastructure.
not gushing,
Oh.
they do not have a.
Crystal clear.
Yeah, they do not have an excellent track record about repairing leaks.
No,
From
they don't.
my experience and, you know, people that
Can
I
we
know.
do anything?
I have a
City?
question. Did either one of y'all hear back from Crystal Clear?
No, have
Nothing.
not.
Okay.
I mean, I
What we
just
can
emailed
do
them on
is-
Thursday of
Yeah.
last week.
Is
but-
contact,
I was hoping
because I,
next
It's only a
week, maybe
week,
the week
so-
after.
yeah.
Because isn't Gino part of the
Give them a
city?
break,
and
right?
it's really nice.
Well, people have been talking about it since July or August,
Right.
when it was the only wet spot in town.
Yeah, Myers
Summer.
was crazy back in
Still
his.
wet?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, it is.
Okay,
It's filled with
so-
water right now.
Come,
Reminds me-
come
reminds-
spring, it's gonna be a mosquito breeding ground and for the health
Yeah.
of our citizens.
Well, the other alternative
do
may
something
be
about
it.
to,
Can we send them a letter as Kingsbury?
Well,
well, the
Sam,
other
can you
alternative
see
may be
Crystal
to,
Clear?
it's really on Highway 90.
To get
Um,
the county after them.
to fill the pothole. Now, if the pothole,
They can't fill
Yeah,
the
but they can't
pothole.
fill it.
I don't know.
If it's-
Well, then it's up to them.
Yeah, to contact Crystal.
to
They might listen
contact-
to the county. They might listen to the county.
Now I hear your point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It reminds me a little of what someone
Because even
told
if
you
we
and I
do
a
get
couple
Crystal
of
Clear
times.
to do it, it's not like they're gonna patch the hole.
Sinkhole.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, broken water pipes
Yeah.
and whole neighborhoods. Creeks were filled up with that, is that CPS, I guess, no, or that water supplier in San Antonio. A month, it took a month.
SARS.
Yeah, or SARS, yeah, right, SARS.
So let me find out about, because it is on a state highway.
Yeah.
It may be
Something we can
text
pressure.
dot, yeah,
Well, if either of you hear back from Crystal Clear, any kind of response, please let us know.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
to say.
Did see this artist in Manchester, England, did get a bunch of potholes fixed by drawing a bunch of penises around them. So just putting it
Very
out there.
clever.
Right. I
It
got some
did.
more in spring.
It worked.
It did work.
Where there's been a pothole or chug hole, depending on where you're from.
Very strong
Uh,
Manchester, she said.
where they've done some rather creative,
Work with the potholes.
creative work with the
Rethinking
potholes
of,
that would then create a necessity for the pothole to be filled, but I
interesting.
like that.
Where is that pothole actually?
Right.
It's
Right
right
next to
there,
Gino's.
kind of
Oh,
on,
here where the huge pipe is under the railroad track. Oh, I didn't know. I see.
no, it's on it's basically on the highway side of the stop sign there at Gino's.
Yeah.
So there's the stop sign there at Gino's at 2438 and Highway 90.
Okay.
So there's the stop sign right there on the right.
Yeah.
A little ways behind that, it's, like I said, it's not running.
it's
Not,
big water
it doesn't
hole.
run down the street, but it's a never-ending
It never
pool
dries
of
up.
water there that's created a big choke.
Okay, so that's not Kingsbury Road, it's on 2438.
I think it's on Highway 90.
Well, that's at the intersection.
Cool.
Yeah, it's 2438 and
It's
Highway
on the
90.
corner of State and County.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm always wondering about that huge
So two
pipe on
pieces.
the other side of Highway 90.
One for-
There was a big, it's like 5 foot and 6 foot in diameter going under the railroad track from Highway 90.
oh, that's culvert?
Yeah, it's a right, culvert is right.
Yeah.
There is always water
It's
standing.
always full of
Yeah,
water.
always. Where's that water coming from? Even when it has
That's
been
just-
raining, it is.
Yeah, that's just rainwater because it's type 4 soil, it's clay.
All summer no rain and the water was
A
standing.
lot of
there.
water still standing there, yeah.
It's like a lake.
Yeah, it is.
All the water tanks are empty, but this water,
Yeah.
come on, where's it coming from?
All right. So yeah, I'll contact Tech Scott and see what I can find there. Again, we'll look at. All right. At
Real
this
quick,
point,
I don't
Yes.
know, but Robin Cresta commented on our live feed and suggested.
People are watching our live feed.
Yeah, she says, I suggest to have a paid band with paid entrance for the festival next year. For the, in the dance hall, might make people hang around longer. And she also likes
she thinks she's-
the
She thinks she's pointed that way.
Yeah.
Got it backwards.
But I don't know, I mean, that
Hey,
is a
Jess?
thought, like, at the end of the day, dance hall.
I think it'd be great. Well,
Just,
Miss
your
Shirley,
camera's going the other direction.
we have
I don't
kid activities, but it would be nice to have some more.
It would be awesome.
Separate event. And the doors open and.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
beer's
thing is, it
flowing
gets
and-
cold.
Yeah, we
So
felt
people,
that.
like in the past years when we've had the after parties outside, it gets cold. Like, so if we had a dance hall to go into afterwards, it just.
Well, a street dance is always nice too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's-
I will, I did contact Brad Prock about if he had gotten his petition submitted. I didn't see it in the next agenda, and he said he just did on Thursday.
Okay.
So what is today? Monday. So he just did on Thursday. And it says, Pam Centeno, who's the city planner, was like, Shirley is so nice to do this form. So
Good.
I don't know if she actually said something like that or not. But, so yeah, he did on Thursday.
I just,
And these are why we're concerned about, not concerned, these are in a kind of a little bit different category when we're talking about Brad Prock, because this is on Mill Oak Road. So this is not in the ETJ that enveloped Kingsbury. This is in the ETJ from the city limits that was back at,
way back in the day.
way back before they annexed, before 130, before SH 130. So that's why it's kind of a little bit category. That's why